Are we moving?
So beautiful. My goodness.
Are we moving?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods. You gotta say a prayer. First John chapter 4, verses 1, 2, and 3. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world. By this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, and every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming and is now in the world already. And we'll pray. Lord, we thank you for discernment. We thank you for protecting us. We thank you for giving us the platform and the ability and the knowledge to teach others how to protect themselves. We thank you for the word. We love you, Lord. Keep your hand of covering over this stream and over each person who watches it now and in the future. And Lord, that you will open people's eyes and ears so that they will truly recognize what's going on and not be deceived. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm lead tracker E, and I had to think for a second who I am. And this is Jerry Williams, also known as Lead Horse Choctaw. And welcome to the channel, or welcome back. We have 4 Facebook groups: the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas; the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database; the Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path; and the Lead Tracker E page. And we also have the Lead Tracker E YouTube channel, and that is an accompanying channel to this one. So please do take a second and go like that channel and subscribe if you haven't already. And where are we?
We're ahead, but we're behind. I don't know. We're ahead, but we're lost. So
our book. We're on our book.
Okay.
This is our book, The Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, which is also the name of our Facebook page. And we also have the book available in Spanish now. We want everyone to be safe. If we could print it in every language around the world, we would, because this is a situation that's all around the world.
And the new book, the Spanish version, actually, Grande, el Depredador, y el Sendero del Guerrero, Espiritual. The new Spanish version, and hopefully, if CT is on tonight, if she's able to be off work, we want to not just thank her, and also Jose and Tanya for helping translate the Predator, Bigfoot, and Spiritual Warrior's Path into the Spanish version. You can see our screen's tilted just a little bit, but it's because we have to turn it backwards in just a second, so bear with us on that also. But CT, if you're here, make sure you ring in. We'd like to say a few things about you.
We have a few things to say to you.
We have a few things to say to you. Our Bigfoot documentary, $55. You can get that through here only. Maybe one day we can get that on YouTube if they agree to that. They haven't yet, but That is $55 by itself. The books you can get through Amazon. You can get the book through Amazon, or you can order an autographed copy through us, and we will mail it out to you with a $5 shipping and handling charge. MJ, we got your address today. And we are sending you out that free copy. MJ is also a scholarship, one of the scholarship winners for the next tracker course, and he'll be with us. And you really need a book for this, amongst everything, but we'll do that at a separate time. And that's another reason we want to talk to CT. So the book is $25 plus $5 shipping and handling, same price as what you would get it on Amazon, except that you'll get an autographed copy from us, or the Bigfoot documentary, which is $55 by itself. So that's a total of $80, right? Mm-hmm. 85 with shipping and handling. But we're actually having a sale right now for one Bigfoot documentary and one autographed Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Path, or the Spanish version, Grande, el Depredador y el Sendero del Guerrero, Espiritual.
But the DVD is only in English.
Yeah, the DVD is only in English at this moment. It'd be something to get someone to translate that for us also. Yeah. And we're also seeing what we can do about getting audio, just the audio. But you really need to see the places that we went into and the places where to look for these creatures, these predators, because it is something just to hear the audio. A lot of information on the audio alone, but once you see what we want you to see, and you're actually going to see places we don't want you going or your kids going. And we knew what we was doing, and we still know what we're doing, and we had protection. So, and most kids and hikers, campers who don't know this information, who are not carrying protection, who are not experienced, can walk into these places and not understand what they're really getting into. So we are having that sale. You can get that through us with the autographed copy, one Bigfoot documentary, and one autographed Predator Bigfoot book.
For those of you that have already received the documentary and read the book, we would welcome you to put your comments in the chat for others. And then also you can go to Amazon and read the reviews. We're very proud of the reviews.
Also, our new webpage. One of our trackers has put this together for us, and we're so happy about it. If you type in predatorbigfoot.com, it will take you to the new webpage. And there you can find playlist, spiritual playlist, DNA playlist, I believe, and where you can order the book or the DVD also as well. But it's got a lot of information there, and we're wanting to put a lot more information on that. We just need to slow down a little bit to try to get everything worked out. We're just busy with actually, well, we'll talk about that.
Well, we're coming to a close of a class, and we're working on 2 other books at the same time. Yeah. But once this other class session closes, we'll have a little bit more time.
We have a little bit. We have a little window that we can work with. Also, tracking miracles and encounters. This is on Lead Tracker E's YouTube page,
and it's just about keeping track of the way that God's divine intervention and divine orchestration weave its way through our lives, and recognizing the miracles that are there every day. A lot of times we don't even recognize them until it's in hindsight, but you'll hear some powerful testimonies of God's faithfulness on there. And if you have some stories of your own that you would like to share, get a hold of us. And in the meantime, check out that playlist.
I'm looking like, why do I look sleepy? I'm not sleepy. I don't know why I look like I'm sleepy.
I look sleepy because I'm sleepy.
Oh, we have been working quite a bit on different projects, and we're trying to get them all finished up, and they're getting really close to being finished. Also, Standing Feather Stories.
These are interviews with Jerry as lead horse Choctaw and his stories from around the world. That's on a playlist. I think it's on this channel and also on the Lead Tracker E channel. And those are the stories behind the scenes of his journeys and what led us up to the point where we met, and then also the things since then. The stories behind the story, very, very interesting.
A lot of travel, a lot of information.
He was the last man standing at Standing Rock. If you know anything about Standing Rock, you don't know. Very, very few people know the whole story behind there.
And I think they're in the news again with the same problem. But we'll tell those stories on the Lead Tracker E channel. Make sure you go to that one, lowercase, Lead Tracker E 1476. Now, for this part of it,
And if the mods would put links to any of these things that we mentioned, if you would put those links in, so it makes it easier for people. Sorry, go ahead.
the Warrior Tracker Training Candidate Course. Shadow Trackers is the name of this tracking group, and they're about to have a test out day. They are December the 19th, which is tomorrow. They will be testing out to see if they have retained the information and knowledge to be one of the trackers.
The shadow trackers.
One of the shadow trackers. We're very, very happy, very excited of all the achievements that they've done, accomplished, and they've done the homework. They've done everything that we've asked of them, and this adding. I mean, it's a different tracking group. Every tracking group will be a different tracking group, but you're also combined with all the tracking groups. So it's not just you're going to be together with everybody. You're going to be with the other tracking groups, and this next tracking group that's beginning. Maybe I don't know if I got that flyer.
We want to expand the tracking teams out there, just for more people to teach, more people to teach those in their neighborhoods how to protect themselves and what's out there, to take care of their families.
No, I was needing my phone, but I'm using my phone right there, so I can't use it.
What mine?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, our new tracking course begins January 21st to April the 21st. It's $40 a month or $160 total, and you can pay the $160 total. Don't worry about anything because it's all taken care of. Or you can do the $40. You can do that with PayPal or Cash App, or you can use snail mail. You can mail it in as well. I believe we had, we did have just one candidate with this course who mailed theirs in every month. So there's a multitude of ways to pay for the course. And once you, and we're going to be,
That help?
yeah, that's, I don't know if our screen is blurry or too close.
It does look blurry, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can you send it to me on Facebook?
Sure.
But this new course, these new trackers,
But you still can get to it when you can in there.
Let me get this real fast. I want to get this up for you so that everyone sees this clearly.
We may need to clean that screen. I'm going to do that real quick.
It looks clear.
Okay.
I think you was just too close.
Okay. And the course is 4 months. It's at least 3 hours once a week, and there's most of the time a homework project, something that you have to do at home, and it's an online course. And we go into later, we'll do a separate stream or posting on the essays written by former students, that their expectations of the course compared to what they learned. And we're very proud to be able to show those, and it'll give you a better idea. We're going to put up that flyer, and then we're going to get to it.
Yeah, it's a 4-month course. It's coming up. Right now, we're about to have the test out for the shadow trackers, which is tomorrow. They're going to have their big test. And then after they pass the test on Saturday, which is December the 21st, the last day of the course, we're going to have a graduation ceremony and celebration for their achievements. Now, the next course is coming up, and we want you to be there Saturday, especially for the graduation ceremony.
Everyone
and the
to
celebration.
Celebrate with us, yeah.
And all the trackers, you are required to be there. And all the trackers had a great time with their graduation. The last one, we're gonna have a great time with this one.
Just fun. Sign your certificates, and we'll have cake.
And we'll have some words for everybody. But the next course is January 21st to April the 21st, 2025. You can use that email, or you can contact us through here, or through Facebook if you have us on Facebook, or our YouTube channel. You can leave a comment if you would like to request to be a part of the next Tracker Training Candidate course, the Warrior Tracker Training Candidate course. One of a kind. We're going to also be reading some essays during the graduation, and hopefully it'll give you an understanding of the importance and the knowledge that you'll gain, and how important that knowledge is throughout life, and what you can do with that.
For requirements, we need to know you, or someone we know well needs to know you. You need to be a child of God. You need to have faith in Jesus and Yeshua. Those are all requirements, because that's we're biblically based.
Yeah. Jesus is a priority in this.
There's safety in that, and that is why we do that.
Once again, this is a tracker channel. It's not an entertainment channel. But today we're going to be a little, every Wednesday we're a little lenient, because we want you to
engage with us.
Engage with what we're talking about
while we're watching a show together.
Yeah. We're going to explain what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. And some people do everything wrong, but sometimes there's bits and pieces in it that's good information, and we'll point that out as well. But if it's all wrong, it's all wrong. We're not picky on age, so it could be a young researcher or an older researcher. And like we say, if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you got the wrong information,
we just want the correct. Yeah.
You know, we just want everybody having the correct information to be safe out there. So monitors, we have monitors. There's no foul language here or off-topic conversations. If you want to talk about your day that has nothing to do with the topic and what we're talking about, do it on another channel. There's plenty of channels that don't mind that. But here we want everybody engaged and on the topic, so that we can share the information together, so that everyone has the same knowledge.
There may be some cursing in the videos that we watch. We have no control over that. So if that bothers you, we just ask that our people don't use that language. But if that bothers you for being on a video, you could always mute the video and use closed captions, but then you're not going to hear us.
But we also don't pick videos that has just bad language, and we know some people slip up.
Yeah.
And one or two words, those words are offensive, even to us. But we want people to understand the information that's going out, the right or the wrong information. So we will today be a little lenient on, but we want you engaged. We want you talking about what we're talking about. Put your input in on what these people are doing right or wrong, and we'll just continue that way and have a good time while we do that. So let's get to the comments. Let's say hello to everybody, and then we will begin with the what's it called, the reaction live stream on what
We do have fun doing this,
Yeah,
even
this
though
is-
it's a lesson and it's for the purpose of teaching. We really enjoy it.
This is one of our favorite days. I mean, they're all favorite, all great, but this is where people get to kind of give their input.
And we're getting the same response from y'all too.
Oh my goodness.
Lorna's not the first in the room.
Lorna's not the first in the room.
Hi,
Cubinator. And he's actually saying, "Where you at, Lorna?" And Lorna's saying,
she said, "Here I am."
She said, "That's no fair. I've been out shoveling snow."
Hi, Lorna.
Cubinator's having a hot day, looks like. And Lorna's saying that
she's having a cold day.
Cold days the last couple of days.
Oh
my goodness. And Cubinator's having a heat wave. So Trekker and Lorna's saying that's hot. Joyce is here.
Hey,
all right,
Joyce.
So happy to see you here. We're started on the journey. It looks like we're going to continue on that journey together, all of us. Graybeard. All right, Graybeard. Graybeard is official tracker also. He's graduated. He took that 2,000 question test. Or was it 1,200? It was something like that. But he passed his test. He did everything needed to do. He is an official tracker. He knows what he's doing out there. He didn't have time to be on the tracker team, but he is still one of us.
Oh, and one of the things we forgot to mention for the course, it's 3 hours a week, but if you can't make the day of the course, you still have the next several. You just have to watch that lesson. You won't have the personal engagement that you would on the private live stream together with us for questions you needed to ask or comments, but you'll still be able to take the class. Just do the coursework in your own time and get it back to us with the homework assignments in time. So there's some flexibility there.
And if you have questions over what you watched at the beginning of the next class, just bring that up. We'll correct it, or we'll explain what you may not have fully understood. Before we move on, we want to make sure you understand exactly what everyone else understands, so we can all move on together. We want to make sure everyone has the same information. So Graybeard is here. JR, look at that.
JR.
He says, "Hello, early birds. Good evening." Everybody's saying hello to JR.
Jamie's
here. Jamie's here. All right. Hello, Jerry and Trackery and everyone here.
Hello, Jamie.
Scott
is here.
The wrench master.
Have we ever heard what Scott's tool is? What his weapon is?
What is your weapon, Scott?
Okay.
Let's see, Tracker Lorna. Everybody's saying hello to Scott. Scott's saying hello to Graybeard and Lorna. V Tracker is saying hello to everybody. Holly Toe. Jamie is saying
Jerry, I just watched your thunder and storm video. It's good. Thank you,
Oh,
Jamie.
thank you. Blessings to you as well. Scott is saying to Joyce. When I talk too much, I don't know, I get like a dry nose or something. It sounds,
Well, running winter heaters too makes it worse.
yeah, that too.
Jamie says, still raining there.
At your place or our place? I don't. Ours has been a sunny day after, um, and the storms just they should have been more um, continuous. But after we stopped, it seemed like we still got lightning, still got rain, but
Nothing like it was.
no thunder. They just took off, went the other way. They went and found someone to pick on out there. Um, let's see. Graybeard is saying amen with the prayer. Lorna, Graybeard, all right, good. Lee Tracker is 1 John 4, 1 through 3. All right. Mm, just a bit and just a bit. I see. Ooh, Scott said he's been to Australia. And Graybeard is saying, whoop, whoop, good stuff. Another class coming on. Yeah, and we've already got some people ready to go. And
Yeah, we're excited.
there's some more who's, there's even some trackers uh, getting some of their friends in or talking with them. Just got a message today from a friend who's been watching, and they're whenever they get together for Christmas, they're going to bring the topic up to some of their family members to try to get some of their family members to become trackers. It's some of the skills in that you just have to have this kind of stuff.
We do want you to get the book before the class though, because we refer to it a lot. It's basically our textbook. We go into a lot more things, but the book is the practical knowledge. Um, it's all important knowledge, but the book is very important and helpful to you to refer to and to help you teach others.
And sometimes when we're looking at this book and going through it and reading it, sometimes I'm thinking there's just so much information in that book. It's just
This is the book we wanted.
Yeah, that's a book I would want if I was
honestly
in the cryptid kind of community or wanted to know about these predators or have more knowledge. That's just looking at that book and going through it. Mariela Bustos.
Hi, Mariela. Hola.
BND.
Bendiciones.
Bendiciones. Bendiciones. I don't know why that word just
that one word, huh?
Yeah.
Cube, thank you for putting that link in there.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you so much. Warrior Tracker Training Course 2025. On Facebook, the link there. If you're interested in becoming a tracker and joining one of the teams, but you'll be joining a lot of teams, but you'll have your own team, but then you're all together. Especially just like tonight, there's so many trackers already in the room. And they are, we're going to be going over things that this person, he's I think a researcher of like 49 years, and the trackers who are in this room, trackers who have graduated, and or trackers, and even some of the viewers who's been with us for a while, knows more than the people that we're going to be talking or looking at tonight.
That we've looked at any of these nights.
And that, yeah, any of these nights. I mean, the people out from this channel
that are out there giving terrible advice.
Yeah, and y'all see that, we see it. And that's before this Watching Wednesday, we couldn't watch these people. We would watch for maybe 5 minutes, say, I can't watch these guys. They're doing everything wrong.
Get aggravated just because of putting people in danger.
Yeah, they're going to get somebody hurt or killed.
Or themselves.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's saying hello to Mariela Bustos. Keeping there.
Says, I still have to do the 8-figure grid reference map reading. Jerry, I haven't forgotten. Good.
Okay. And I believe we sent it to you in your email. I hope you have that. And there's also a Keeping there. Put it up again. Thank you so much.
Appreciate that, Cube.
You can connect through Facebook or through here.
Cube, reminding everybody to like and share the video on your social media if you would. Yes, that gets an algorithm up. Seriously, for months now, this channel has been going from 1974 to 1978, up 3, down 1, up 1, down 2, up, back and forth for months on those numbers. And that just seems so manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for it to stay just stuck right there.
For months.
Yeah, let's get them over 2,000 on that one. And yeah, please.
With all the information and everyone else giving you the wrong information.
Yeah.
The only channel that's giving you the right information, and we're
complete information.
Teeter
The ones
totter
that are not guessing.
Yeah, we're not guessing here. Keeping there has
his sharp-bladed battle axe at the ready. Good. Joy says the Mod Warrior Squad are ready. Good.
Yeah. But
JR said
you're gonna have to change that a little bit, even though we say you're not warriors. That's the warrior team. You're the shadow tracker team, so maybe
they're still all warriors.
Yeah, they're still all warriors, but
and the viewers too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The Mod Warrior Squad are ready. There's a whole bunch of them ready.
Yeah. JR says his weapon is garlic. Lots of garlic. We believe in lots of garlic.
Yeah.
There's Lyrical Jazzy.
Lyrical Jazzy, Tracker J.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies, and hello, Nico, and hello, was it Paul or
Papa Bear?
Papa Bear. Everybody's saying hello to Lyrical Jazzy. And Joyce is laughing at your garlic. Hello, Tracker J and Mom from Graybeard, Holly. Cubinator, thank you so much, Cubinator.
We sure appreciate you.
We sure do.
And thank you for all the links.
Yeah.
And Cube, don't forget to put your channel in there also. And I mean your Facebook page.
And Lyrical Jazzy saying hello to looks like everybody. You got a whole list of names there. Cubinator saying hello to Holly. Lyrical Jazzy's got her morning star ready.
Good.
And remember today, we're being a little lenient, Tracker J.
Yeah, on watching Wednesdays, people can talk more.
She's very
as long as
quick.
It's focused, as long as it's focused, which we appreciate, just as long as it's focused on what we're watching, and we're going to get to that in just a second.
She's very quick to make sure that we're
to head off trouble.
To head off trouble. Or to take the head off trouble, I should say.
Jamie says, I'm looking at right info right now here. Good, Jamie, that's right.
Thank you, thank you. Look who's here. She's sneaking.
Night Stars watching from
Night
the background.
Stars sneaking in. She's watching from the background. Everybody's saying hello to Lyrical Jazzy. Lyrical Jazzy saying hello. Joyce is saying hello to Night Stars. Everybody, Night Stars.
Everybody.
And there is Tracking Bush Predators Australia.
Yes, this is Cube's Facebook page, and he goes to great effort every single day to teach with his posts.
Mm-hmm.
Very patient person in explaining to people the things that he's learned in this course, the things that he's learned on his own through the years, and definitely worth joining that page.
This kind of sounds scary.
What? I'm watching, always watching, says Lyrical Jazzy. Good though. That's okay.
Yeah. So everybody make sure there's no
foul language. We got Night Stars in the back, and we got her always
Night
watching.
Stars is watching in the back. She's in the background, so I'm watching in the back. And Lyrical Jazzy she's letting everybody know.
On patrol.
She's on patrol. We got some in the back, got some in the front, some with
okay. We have our pointers ready.
Battle axe ready. So we're gonna listen to. I don't know the guy's name. I wrote it down. I had some paper here somewhere.
Way earlier or just now?
No, just now.
Well,
give us 1 second. Seem to have lost some paper.
well, while he finds out, I'm going to run through these real quick.
Okay.
For those of you that are new to the, is that it up there? For those of you that are new to the channel, these are the, here we go. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
These are the things that we're looking for. This illustration's not completed in ink yet, but this is an example of a trap that we would want you to avoid. When you start noticing that you're funneled into an area in the woods with bows, with breaks, that the things that the tree line skirting along the sides, the things that keep you from, is that, it looks blurry to me. The things that keep you from going left or right, and you can see that you're herded through the forest. You're being moved into a trap.
Blurry.
You'll let us know if we don't. Okay. So this is a pull down. We look for pull downs. It's a branch that has been, people blame these on weather. Yes, it happens sometimes from weather, but you'll begin to notice a pattern in the strategic placement of these pull downs. And this is the first thing to happen when they are going to build a structure to hide behind. Sometimes they never come back and fill it in, but it's just enough to break up the silhouette. They'll be along game trails. They'll be strategically placed around different areas of the home, bus stops, mailboxes, woodsheds. We want you to watch out for things like this. This is a corral. Everybody knows what a corral is, but this is a predator Bigfoot corral. These are traps that are set there to slow their prey down. Sometimes the prey is small game, big game, or humans. Everything is prey to these. These are examples of breaks, which are the trees that are snapped off at the top. And this is, and sometimes those trees will be snapped off at the bottom too, and they'll be laid across trails to, it's just another way of slowing down the prey. And then there is a twist. Sometimes those pull downs are actually twisted. You don't see those as much as the pull downs, but the twists are just a display of strength. And this is a land spike. It can be an artificially sharpened by picking at it with their claws, or some of the, like the cedar trees, some stumps just naturally get sharp, but you will see that these can be moved or logs moved in front of them so that when the prey jumps over it, they land on these and impale themselves, and that either kills them or it leaves a blood scent. It's all an elaborate hunting system in the woods, and hunters that have been in there for 50 years are not seeing what's going on. Some of the things you want to look out for are branches and trees that don't even, say there's a little cluster of oak trees and then there's some pine branches mixed in with them. Well, those were artificially placed there. Look for that. Look for mixed varieties of branches that don't belong. This is bows. You'll see a lot of bows. These are not natural. The thing that makes people think they're natural is that they're happening so often now. There's so many of them. So they're exactly what they look like. And we talk about every one of these things in the book and in our DVD and on other videos and live streams. But these bows are also called arches and arcos and hairpins. If they're really tight, we sometimes call them hairpins. But you want to look out for those. If you get in an area and you see a lot of those bows, and sometimes they're lined up one after the other to create a tunnel. You need to move on out of that area. Don't pitch your tent under a bow. Don't let your kids swing around and play by a bow. This is another example of uh, this is a drop and pop, and these can be put. It works along the same way as a land spike, but it can pop tires. Um, they'll be put in the roads. It can be sharpened bones, sticks, and stones. This is an example of an embankment blind along creeks and river bends where trees naturally fall over, along ravines. A lot of times you can't see them unless you're on the far side or coming from the opposite direction, but where the tree has either been artificially or naturally pushed over, it's going to start to leave a hole. That hole will be exploited and dug out even further. And sometimes these tunnels, and you'll see that in the DVD, sometimes they go on a long way. When we made that DVD, one of the caves that was made by one of these embankment blinds went back at least 11 feet. And when we went back later with Jose and Tanya, it went back probably what, 25?
Yeah, it went
25, 30 feet.
We didn't go in it.
Oh, no, we didn't go in at that time. But from above, it had branches and things laid across so that anything that walked through there in the night, their legs would go through, or something could reach up and snatch them through, or they could be seen through there if a person were not careful and knew to avoid this kind of thing. They're especially going to be around curbs and in creeks and ravines, because the curves create a blind spot. When we talk about bridges, we're not talking about just the man-made bridges, which are also a danger because the predator Bigfoots and hybrids like to hang out at those. We're also talking about the trees and logs and large branches that are placed across, and sometimes even cast off lumber that are placed across the ravines, and those create an ambush spot. For the trees, it creates an ambush spot where it's pushed down at the root end that causes a hole. Now this is up at the top that causes a cave, and it'll be dug out, and that's a place for the predators to hide. And on the foliage end is a place for it creates another blind. And so when prey goes to cross over, and they can be very small too for little prey, but when it goes to cross over, they're trapped. If anybody ever saw the movie Predator, what was that guy's name on Predator that went across the bridge?
Oh, it was the Indian guy.
The Indian guy on Predator, can't think of his name right now.
Yeah,
Billy? Was it Billy?
Billy something.
Anyway, that's a real good example of he's trying to cross over and you're trapped. You're in the middle, and then you've got a predator sometimes waiting at both ends. So we want to watch out for what we call bridges. And then this is an example of a structure that may start with a pull down or just sticks that are artificially leaned up. If they look too perfect, that's not a predator Bigfoot. They survive by blending in, not standing out. That's why their weapons and tools don't get noticed, because they're made out of the natural elements out there, stumps and sticks and rocks. And but anyway, the structures, it may be a bunch of them, but they're not going to look perfect. The more perfect looking ones are added to by humans. Those are not made by the predator Bigfoot. But you want to watch these things. People will say, well, now how's that going to give them shelter? It's not to give them shelter. It's just to break up their silhouette and to give them a place to hide behind. They're covered in hair. They're covered in translucent hair. It's just breaking up the patterns so that they're harder to see, and they're placed in areas where the prey is going to pass by. So those are the things we look for, and we're going to look for and point out in this video, in every video. Okay. You had something?
Yeah, let me get these real fast.
Negativity.
Jamie says Billy Bear. Is that his name? Billy Bear?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's really not, because it's
Just looking up something real quick, and then we'll get to the main event.
The main event. Okay. Got what we need, so, and is that a good book?
Look on the edge of it. We'll see.
Yeah, these are the last one. I think that's a good one.
I know we got grubby over time, so
Okay,
I guess we've got 3 class ones.
okay. So we're going to be also referring to these books tonight. The information that the person that we're going to be looking at tonight doesn't have this information. He gives his opinion to people, and he's supposed to be some kind of guru about the predator Bigfoot, and people ask him questions, and he's written books on this, but he doesn't have any information, but he's still giving information or still giving his opinion out.
This has nothing to do with whether somebody's a nice person or not. A nice person can still lead you into a trap without even knowing that's what they're doing.
So let me get this linked up. I had a couple things I got here in the way.
You want one more table? You want that on the side?
No, I got it. We'll work it.
We'll have to stand up to do our pointers.
Yeah, this may have to move.
Let me grab it.
This was all worked out last week, so just 1 second here. And it's just that the monitor is in the way
of the TV.
Oop. Yeah, and watch how far that cord goes. Perfect.
Work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. That'll work. Okay.
Oh, you gotta go to yours.
Oh.
Here it is. Isn't it the 49?
Yeah. We'll have to see. People need to watch that one afterwards.
The second one or that one?
This one.
Okay.
Okay, give us 1 second. We gotta turn the screen around now. Watching Wednesdays. Here we go. Give us 1 second here. Yeah, we're gonna have to have something.
But as far as the screen, is it aimed right?
No,
is it good?
Not yet.
Well, how can you tell if this is in front?
Okay. Set down. The work starts.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. him there. There's the rest. I think I find that pretty good. All right. Truth Walker is here. Lauren's saying hello to Truth Walker, and everybody's
Hey,
saying
Truth Walker.
hello. So we're gonna start. This is an audio. Now the guy who starts off is going to explain who he is, but it's actually about a guy named Steve Abner, founder of the Indiana Bigfoot.
Oh, maybe this is Steve Abney.
No, that's the guy he turned it over to.
Oh, okay.
Steve Abner is like a
Abney?
70-year-old man or something. Or who? Abney?
Abney.
Abney. But we don't know who this guy is, so let's listen to how it starts off. And it starts off with a fake structure.
Yeah, this structure's not predator Bigfoot. They would never do something so obvious.
Not so obvious, and they don't need that much. They're not building a house indoor. I mean,
Yeah, it didn't look like that at all.
yeah, this looks like someone who went out there and did this. But let's get to this.
Back when I started into Bigfoot.
Let me back it up and turn it up a little bit.
And other people maybe have added to it over time. But this is not predator Bigfoot.
No. We're not saying that he's not in a predator Bigfoot area, but this is not what a Bigfoot would do.
And we're not saying he did this. We're just saying man did this.
Man made that one.
Back when I started into Bigfoot, I took over the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization from Steve Abney. Steve Abney turned it over to me, and Steve told me a number of places where he knew the Sasquatch was. Now, that's been over 10 years ago. So the area that we're in, this general area, is the first place Steve Abney ever brought me to and was telling me that the Sasquatch was here.
And if you ever go to this guy's channel, which is the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization, or the IBRO, you'll see he doesn't know too much. We watched a little bit of him the other day and didn't get through the whole thing, and was looking for something for watching Wednesday, and what he was doing out there was not something that we would wanted to do a watching Wednesday over, because he wasn't doing anything except sitting out there and
Whooping
and just it's not something
dangerous activities.
Not really sure. Maybe that's how researchers do it. We're not researchers. We just give you the answers. But these guys, you'll have to check his channel out and see how he does things. It's just something that we wouldn't do. And if you're a tracker or took the course, you understand this is not something we would do.
Seem like nice people, but Bigfoot lovers that are going to get themselves and other people into trouble.
Yeah.
It's the first place Steve Abney ever brought me to and was telling me that the Sasquatch was here. So I've known about this area for years, been through here a number of times, but to be honest, I haven't been through here for 4 or 5 years until today. I hadn't seen this structure before. So I don't know how long it's been here, who done it, but it's very interesting. So if anybody follows Steve or reads any of his books, I can tell you that Steve had a lot of knowledge. He has a vast amount of knowledge that he can tell you. He still to today, he can tell you exactly where the Sasquatch are, what their activities are, and how they act. Very interesting man. When I first started, Steve first started taking me out.
We got to read JR's comment. It is funny. JR says, opening structure comes with a bathroom, kitchen, and a spare bedroom.
And if this was us, we would not be opening a video with that kind of structure thing going on.
And JR is one of our trackers.
He says, "Hey, Wi-Fi." Gray Beard says, "Hey, Wi-Fi."
Grandbeard says and Wi-Fi, and
Hey.
Joyce says a goodbye at does it say $5,000, $50,000?
We would not get in front of this structure and say, "This is, no way."
But at least he did say he doesn't know who did it. But
still, he should have known that
he should know that it
Bigfoot
was
didn't
not.
do it. Oh my goodness. They're more stealthy than building a hut out
Give me
there.
snort.
Uh-oh.
I thought a lot of what he was telling me was just such a stretch that I could not wrap my head around it. And so a lot of it, I almost ignored. I tried to go, oh, I don't think so. But over the years, everything that he ever told me has come back to be true. So Steve does have a lot of knowledge, kind of hard to follow at times. But the knowledge he has, I just can't argue it anymore.
Here's what I want Martin Hunley to do, and that way he could stick it right on the radio.
Yeah.
And you could do the same thing if you wanted to.
Okay. I really like to learn about this, and I've heard about you.
I try to keep a low profile. I've been asked to be on television, and I told no. People said, why? I said, to keep myself humble.
Mm.
Why? The horse people expect you to be a humble person.
Mm.
They are not people.
They're not people. They're not people. And he starts off with this. So that tells you right there, this guy doesn't know what these things are. Oh. And he says that they expect you to be humble.
Yeah, so they're going to put you in your place right away. They
They're
expect
the
you
gods.
to be humble.
They're this man's God.
You're not doing this for the money. You're not taking advantage of them trying to put money in your pocket. What?
These things take advantage of anything they can get their hands on to eat. Anything. Dogs, animals, people, children.
These things don't care one whit about what you're putting in your pocket as far as money or monetary value or this. It's of no consequence to them.
Yeah, they don't care if you're, if they were like that, they'd ask him what kind of job he's got. Where do you work at? How much money do you make? They don't care about that. They care about eating you.
Why should I go and exploit that? What was given to me was a blessing.
No, sir, it was not. It was not a blessing. You were being deceived.
And this is not a child of God to think that a demon, a predator, is a blessing to him.
A descendant of the fallen angels mating with women.
Raping. I wouldn't say mating. Taking women.
The trust and my motto were, you do no harm. And like I told you, a while ago, they can read your mind.
No, they cannot. They cannot read your mind.
They cannot read your mind.
They can read your body language.
You're not the first human they've came across or studied or hunted. They can mind speak.
They can put things into your mind.
Put things into your mind and draw you out.
A demon cannot read your mind.
They know when you've been bad, when you've been good.
Oh my goodness. They can also tell if you're a child of God. If you're not, you're out there drinking, drugging, partying, careless. You don't understand that there's predators out there. You haven't read the Bible about giants and hybrids. You don't know that these things are fallen angel offspring.
That will eventually eat as many people as they can, and I have already begun, but one day it will be en masse for those who are not protected.
When the time comes and they're released, it's going to be an all-out thing. And that's why we're continuing with joining with Children of God and sharing the knowledge, especially in the tracker course, so that we all have the same information and we're all prepared.
We want everyone to be safe.
Everyone prepared.
Like Santa Claus, you know. But that is the biggest thing, is we do things on their terms.
No, sir, we do things on God's terms.
On God's terms.
They are not our gods.
This is not a child of God, whoever this guy is.
God, when he created the earth, he put man over the animals on purpose. He gave man authority. The whole reason Lucifer and the fallen angels and the watchers were upset is because they didn't have authority over us. And neither did the animals, and these things fall onto that side of onto that team. Hold on, we're retaping our phone. Okay.
There we go. That covers it a little bit better.
Not human terms, period.
Mm.
Now, people say, well, what the hell are
See the
they?
bow?
Yeah, you're going to see structures, bows
Yeah,
in here.
they're definitely in a hot spot.
Yeah.
Well, working in secret 5 years with Janice Carter and such.
Janice Carter does mind speak with these things. Janice Carter is deceived.
Janice Carter is a witch. If you ever seen her and understand what she's doing, that's what a witch will do out there.
It doesn't matter if she's a sweet woman. She is deceived. I know a lot of sweet witches. I was a sweet witch.
Yeah. So don't be getting information from her as well. You might as well be talking to a conduit, a demon talker.
Are they? Well, working in secret 5 years with Janice Carter and such. I can't go too much into it because I signed an NDA. But
People that have nothing to hide don't require NDAs.
Mm-mm.
If you have a church or an organization or anything except maybe I suppose a copyright on a product or a recipe or something like that, you shouldn't have to have an NDA.
No.
People do that because they have something to hide.
and such, I can't go too much into it because I signed an NDA. But the things that they turned into Nova Ketchum, and Nova Ketchum is, I called her on the phone, talked to her and everything. She's a very, very professional person. And what she did, everybody was jealous of it, and they call her a fake, and there's nothing fake about her.
Mm.
That, as far as I'm concerned, the genome that she collected and everything from everybody, and secretly got that 3 different genomes from Bigfoot. And she shipped these things to 11 different institutions without telling them what she sent.
Mm.
All 11 institutions came back to her saying the very same thing. Yeah, they're half human and half non-hybrid.
Now, let's listen to, and that is true what this man is saying, that these institutions came back with a human hybrid or a human DNA, which if this thing is eating humans, you're going to have that DNA in there.
But it never said half this and half that. There
But
are
Melba-
bits and pieces.
But Melba Ketchum also said, and we'll play this little video, at the end, she says, but it's not human. Even though all these other places said human, because they're not thinking it's got human DNA, but it's not human. She explains at the very end of this clip.
We have 3 terabytes of data from over the 3 samples, so about a terabyte of data for each sample. Then also the new technology allows us to compare it to other animals and human as far as the sequences, which we did this. University of Texas Southwestern did the sequencing. They also did the analysis. We've had other groups and other geneticists look at it. Some of them have supported us, some of them haven't. The ones that haven't, it's because there is very little alignment, meaning it doesn't match anything. It's novel, it's new, there's nothing to compare it with. Since a lot of animals and humans will share certain DNA sequences, you get a very low yield of matching data, and you can, when you play with these genomes, you can get a large number of different animals that will show up just in 1%, 0.5%. You get human at about 3% on one sample, and this is over the whole genome, not just a portion. So we've got alignment that is not good. It doesn't fit well in the tree of life. And this is the problem that a lot of the scientists have. They expect that it's an ancient that somehow branched off with evolution. But this creature does not follow the general rule. What it does do is it's very different. We think it is a human hybrid. That is our theory.
That is their theory, that it's a human hybrid. Now, let's play this next next clip, which is, where's that? I'm gonna have to add it here. It was probably too big. But she's going to talk about these institutions getting the human DNA part in there, but then at the very end, she's going to say it's not human. Let's listen to Melba again.
Reasons for this. First of all, there's a type of DNA called mitochondrial DNA, and you may have seen some of the advertisements about getting your genealogy done. This is the first thing we did with these samples, and surprisingly enough, all of them tested 100% modern human. We really somewhat weren't surprised by this because 4 other laboratories have already tested these types of samples and some of the same samples and got the same results. The difference is they were not forensic laboratories, and they thought that they must have contaminated the data. What we did, we split the samples between my lab and the North Louisiana Crime Lab. They extracted the lower yield samples robotically. We extracted some of them, the large yield samples manually, and to get the DNA to sequence it and have a look at what these creatures were. And then we ran those samples in tandem. And one of the samples in the study, we actually had enough DNA that we did 2 different extractions, and it repeated. So we got consistency there. All of them turned out human. The New York University did a number of these, and Adrian Erickson will touch on this, what happened with his sample there. It tested human. He sent it to Paleo Labs, it tested human mitochondrial DNA. He sent it to my lab, we tested human mitochondrial DNA. We have footage, this is the remarkable part. His footage of this red female Sasquatch matches her genetic profile, because he had no idea what we were going to test. And I chose to do a color gene for hair color. And when we tested that, it turns out it was human sequence from this individual, and she had the red hair gene, and she is red in color. Also, we had only 2 or 3 females in the study, and her gender is female. And he had no way of knowing we were going to test these things. So it supports the video. And this is, it's good. Plus, 2 other labs prior to mine had tested the sample and got the same mitochondrial DNA, the human. But we went further. We went into the nuclear DNA, which is the DNA that's inherited from your mother and daddy. And what we found there was it was not human. It had bits of human sequence in it, but it didn't align well with anything that we've ever seen. And we did a cursory look at the whole genome using just single mutations. And when we did that testing, it fell well below the human threshold. It should have been up above 95% of these mutations appearing, and it was down in the 87th percentile. And this was pristine DNA.
Okay, it's not human, but it has bits and pieces of human DNA in the sequence. Now, if you ran a spider sequence, you'll see those bits and pieces, and you'll see single strands. It's all jumbled together. It's a repetitive sequence that a spider has. And that's what a predator Bigfoot DNA sequence is. It's a spider sequence. It's a spider that's taken the form of a man and is using that form to get closer to us.
It can patchwork together different species like Frankenstein's monster, but they're incomplete. They do not have the fingerprint of God. They are not supposed to be here. In the chat, we added a link, and that it says start here, and that's the playlist. And within that, you will find 2 videos where we go into greater detail.
It's in the description.
Okay, good. Oh, okay, good.
So as Lead Tracker is talking about, in the description are 2 of the live streams that we did. The first one we did with the SPIDER-SQUATCH DNA, is what we termed it, was done before we even heard the Melba Ketchum analysis and report. The second one is helping to read between the lines or something like that, but it's in the description. And that was the one we did on the Melba Ketchum report, because people were like this guy just saying that they're half human and half unknown, but he didn't listen to the report. He didn't listen to what else she was saying.
There's many things within them, and they jumble up and they change and they mutate.
So let's listen to a little bit more quick things from Melba.
There's going to be gaps where it didn't fit, and where it doesn't fit, then you get these single-stranded gaps. We knew there was some kind of a structural problem when we were actually testing it. We could see it on the gels that it didn't look right. So that was why we did that one. Plus, it also supported, it had long fragments of DNA in this, and if it was degraded, they would have been little bitty short. And this was repeated, and we had 2 different universities look at these results.
So there's structural problems. Nothing is lining up with this creature. Nothing is right with it. It's not a human sequence.
They're trying to make it fit into the boxes that they've got sitting there, and the whole unknown thing. They're saying it didn't match anything. Well, they match themselves. The unknown is a category unto itself.
And if you Google unknown, you'll get a cryptid return. Oop, let me get that back up. Hopefully I can go out too far.
With other finance software, you tend to get stuck.
We'll get to that in just a moment. Sorry, that's up there. Let me get to this next part. So now she's saying there's the structural of that DNA is a problem. It's not lining up. Now let's see what else she's saying about those structural problems.
Furthermore, we did something called electron microscopy, where we expanded the DNA to the point with electron microscopy so we could see the actual structure of the DNA. And in doing so, we found that was also novel, that it would have a stretch of double-stranded DNA like you're supposed to have, but then you would have groups of single-stranded DNA interspersed in it. Even the critics of the paper have said that this is what you would see if there was a hybrid between, say, a human and something that didn't align very well with human. There's going to be gaps where it didn't fit, and where it doesn't fit, then you get these single-stranded gaps.
Okay, so it's not fitting. So they're trying to put this block or this square into a circle. But the rest of them are saying, you know, this is what you get when you got something that's mixed together. And he's saying, they're saying like a hybrid human. They're saying it's all mixed together. And I think that's why she is using a theory that it's a human hybrid.
They're trying to make it fit into the line of humans.
Now, this next one, she's going to say, or we'll let you listen to it first.
It's just very difficult. I call it the Galileo effect, because this is very novel. It's the first time that anybody's seen anything like this. And mainstream science has a problem with that, because we're all taught that evolution is very cut and dried. And this is how it is. It comes up the tree of life. So what we have is a tree of life with a single branch coming up and crossing over to human.
So it's crossing over to human. It's trying to take the form of a human. So it was a different structure, a different thing, trying to manipulate, trying to take the form of a man to be a better predator, to get closer to us,
To replace us.
to eat people.
And it is a part of evolution, of its own evolution. Man is not a part of the evolution that we've been told. We're not from monkeys.
No. And we're not in an evolution process. We are the way we are, the way God intended. Now let's listen a little bit more to Melba, because she's saying we don't know what it is. We don't know what this creature is.
So we're going to guess and call it this.
Because it's such a low percentage. And we saw the same thing when we tested individual genes. We would get, some of them would, you know, they're like recombining, the genes are through their evolution as a species, because you've got some that'll test with human sequence in this particular spot. They'll test with unknown sequence in another spot. Across it, we've had a lot of failures, and we weren't allowed to put the failures in the book. One of the most significant failures was the fact that we did what's called YSTR testing, which is your male lineage down the Y chromosome. Those tests failed across our samples. That means the male portion of this creature is unknown. Nobody knows what it is. There's no, like I said, there's no type model for this. And
They were not supposed to be. They were not supposed to be. They are an abomination.
Nobody knows what it is. They've never came across this before. Novel means new. Novel means they don't have information on this creature. And she even called it a creature. She even said it's not human. She said it had bits and pieces of human DNA in it. She said it's not human, and she just called it a creature. She didn't call it a human hybrid.
How can it be novel and new and also ancient, which is what they'll also tell you?
There's no way, or what she's saying, she's not listening to the data. She's not listening to what she's saying herself. Now on this one, she's going to talk about a few things of what, if you look in the description and watch those two videos, those top two description links where we talked about the DNA, then you'll see that what she's about to say here makes sense if you watch our DNA links. And now let's listen to Melba, but also listen to the last things that she says.
A lot of negativity from the scientific community. However, we've had other geneticists that have come out in favor. Dr. Swinson, David Swinson, he has given, sterling reviews, and he went in and checked the data. We had another one that ran a genome center that did it for us, and he confirmed our findings. But his boss wouldn't let him go public with it because of the stigma. So we're fighting politics here, basically. Everybody's afraid of the subject because a lot of people don't believe it exists. What we're doing here is we just want people to understand this is a serious study. It cost us $500,000. We have 3 whole genomes. We have a lot of supporting material of all different disciplines. One more problem is we're getting people that they'll critique one part of it, but they don't look at the whole paper. All of it comes together to make the proof. Plus the biases there in that the Lasula monkey was recently discovered, and I think they used 1,600 bases to identify a new species of monkey. However, we have 3 terabytes of data with billions and trillions of bases, and they won't accept ours. So, because it doesn't fit neatly into the tree of life. And, we so many levels. We had 13 different labs. We used blind studies where they didn't know what they were testing. I have an email from one that says, gee, we got this sequence. I blasted it or checked it against GenBank, and it didn't match anything. Have you discovered a new species? I had that in writing. The girl, the PhD that wrote that, she had no idea what she was testing, but we were using universal primers where she would get whatever was there. And it stuck in different spots, and the sequence was shorter and totally unknown. And, we have bits and pieces of other genomes that we'll find in it, just like you will with any genome. But the strange thing about it is so much of it is, I believe, in those single-stranded gaps, and it's novel, that it does not align well. And therefore, that gives another foothold for people to say, oh, gee, it doesn't exist, or gee, we found, bear, pig, whatever, monkey.
So she, at the very end, she said, oh, so we found bear, pig, monkey, but don't forget, there's human DNA in there, so it's taking the form of a man because they're taking Sasquatch or Bigfoot DNA, predator Bigfoot DNA. So it has the man form, but they're not looking at the sequence either. They're not looking for the spider sequence DNA. So it
literally has bear, pig, monkey, and man in it.
Bear, pig, monkey, man is what that would have been a correct what's it called?
Term for that one.
Term for that
for
DNA that she got. Yeah, the next one would be something else. Bear, pig, monkey, man would have been exactly correct.
We tell you in the book that they are a combination of everything, but a completion of nothing. God completes his work.
Yeah.
Everything he does, he completes. The enemy doesn't. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and everything coming from the enemy, anything coming with the enemy comes to steal human DNA, to kill humans, and to destroy humans. They want to replace us.
And if you take the tracker course, we explain the Fibonacci sequence. That is a completion sequence. That is us. We are the fingerprint of God. This has a spider sequence. It's continuation. That's why Bigfoot will continue to change throughout its continued growth. I don't want to say lifespan because it's not us. It will still grow longer arms. It may still grow wings. The legs are going to be shorter than the top body part because it maneuvers forward as well. So that makes it more agile, more able to move easier with a bigger body top and lower and smaller legs. It can still grow longer fangs, can still grow claws.
All of these different things that people are calling Mothman, Monkey Man, Lizard Man, Frog Man, Turtle Batman. We've even come across that.
Turtle Frog Batman.
Yeah, every one of these things are just another mutation of the original predator that can patchwork and bind these things together. They have that combining gene,
that spider binding gene,
DNA that can patch this stuff together, but it's not smooth. God's work is seamless, beautiful, perfect. That's the creator. That's the mark of the creator. These things are monstrosities. They should not
abominations
be.
Are using God's creation and trying to make another, but it's making a creature, or it made a creature by patching this DNA together.
And the closer that they get
like
to looking like humans, the more dangerous they are because they have consumed the most humans. They have stolen the most human DNA. They can get closest to humans because they look more human-like.
Yeah. So let's listen to Melba real fast. The last part here where she tells you the reports are accurate and it is what it is.
But interprets it wrong.
And the people like this guy, Steve Abney, interpret wrong.
Yeah, and he said it was half
human and half unknown.
Is. Yeah, he didn't. And she just named 4 different species in one.
Yeah. And she's saying it's got structural problems. It looks like it's crossing over to humans, so it's
jumping off the tree.
Looking like and taking the form of human.
Resembling.
The structural bands, there's single bands in it, which it's not a human sequence. Nobody knows what it is. So let's listen to her at the very end of what she's going to say and listen to what she's saying.
The bottom line is the study is what it is, whether science likes it or not. There was also the question about all of this is supposed to be kept confidential. But when Nature leaked, I still chose to keep it confidential, but I did make it available to the people that participated in the study, and obviously one of them let it out.
Actually, I want to play this one video. It's a part of the Bigfoot documentary where there's another tracker who interviewed me. And we had a talk, and this is before Melba Ketchum's report. This is before we did the SPIDER-SQUATCH DNA report. I mean, live stream. I just want you to listen to this because the things that she's trying to explain to everybody, we've explained before we got the information from Melba.
We even sent or commented on her DNA new study, one of those things, commented this is what you're looking at. This is what, but it,
but that was not.
It was not acknowledged. Yeah. A couple of times actually.
They don't want to hear from people who already know.
No.
They want funding to find out exactly what we already know. And this actually, her analysis, her report actually confirms what we already knew.
Mr. Jerry, actually, very intriguing for me because of my background. As most of y'all know, that I've taught survival and wilderness survival and tracking skills, primitive life skills for near 20 years now. And Jerry does it also. I'm gonna give you the floor, man, and just start from the beginning, man. We want to know all about you. I mean, I'm curious.
I come from a medicine people background.
My mother was a medicine person, my grandfather's. So we've passed down healing ways throughout the generations, and it happened to fall on me. Except I wanted to find out more than what I was being told. So I left home and, I asked my mom, well, I was talking with her and I said that I'm going to have to leave again. And she asked me why. And I said, well, if you can teach me everything I need to know about this world, I can stay here. And, she looked at me and gave me a hug and she said, I'll see you when you get back.
Now, folks, I will say this. Jerry impressed me quite well last week when I was me and my father was having a little bit of a outing in eastern Oklahoma, and I had an interesting night, to say the least, with some audio and some stuff going on, and we discussed that on Trinity Paracryptid last week. But Jerry was literally about 2 hours south of me, and he was on standby if it got bad. And he literally was on standby to shoot up there and come find me. And I appreciate that, Jerry. I wanted to say thank you so much for having my back on that night. And man, you was right there. I mean, you knew exactly where I was at. Very few people would actually know that area that well. Where does Bigfoot come into this? I'm curious because I know you're out in the woods a lot. You live out there. I mean, you're down in Antlers, Oklahoma. And I know you're dealing with them because we're dealing with down there ourselves. My father is actually not very far from you right now. There's 3 troops running that area around Antlers, that stretch. There's actually more than that, but 3 that I've dealt with. He's got a white scar down the side of his face. And he usually, if you see him, there's something going on. It's almost like there's a territorial battle going on in between his troop and the juveniles down there right now. So they're firing back and forth. And the reason I'm saying this is to let people know that area, even to all of us researchers that come into that area, is a fairly active area. I'd say it's almost as active as up around Broken Bow Lake on the backside in between there and Arkansas. So my original question was, have you had any aggressive behavior in that area?
Not in this area, but I have in the Clayton, Oklahoma area, which is not maybe about 20, 30 miles from here.
Oh, yeah. I know Clayton real well. Matter of fact, Big Boy with the scar runs that area real well. Dad got drugged halfway down a ridge in a tent in Clayton, Oklahoma. It just ran up. His girlfriend was in it. And what's funny is it waited until I went to sleep right before dawn.
When they ask for proof, I keep telling people, we'll come to Antlers, I'll take you right to them. I'll show you where they're at, or, because I am from here. We're kind of like the guards here, and I took a shot at one just to get them to lay down because I didn't have a clear shot, but I had them on thermals and just kind of leaning it out there and taking the best shot by looking at that thermal. They took cover after that. And so that gave me a little space to, keep pulling back. But I knew my other friends were out there, and if I was to really start in with this, that, they would have been killed easy. I teach the ancient histories and the ancient, hieroglyphs and everything. And we see the mixture in the hieroglyphs in the Egyptian Dendra zodiac. And we also see it also in the Aztec sunstone. Their history is also in there about the mixing of the animal, mixing of the human, and how it made, a Bigfoot. And then, these it's just a mixture of animals and a mixture of human.
So you're saying that in your view, Sasquatch is a conglomerate of different, for lack of better terms, on scientific level, DNA structures, or different, they're a mixture of other animals together.
Yeah, and if they would run a test like that, we're testing for DNA of a serpent, testing for DNA of, a land animal or a ram. And we're also testing for DNA of a fish. We're testing for DNA of a bird.
Yeah.
They would run tests like that. These things would show up.
Well, that's, we have ran DNA and they come back inconclusive. They say that they're a certain percentage human and primate, but then they have other, it's interesting that you say that, because we do have, certain groups and people have produced that evidence for in saying that they could be.
They're only a predator. And in our history, and in many tribes' history, recounts, they're called the arrival of evil. But at that time, they didn't have, the perfect human face. They had, it was more of a disfigurement.
Yeah.
But we were also taught that they're cannibalistic, or they eat man, and that they have a bite like fire and paralyzing. You know, that's the same attributes also of a spider. We're taught that it's going to evolve to look more like us, to become a better predator, to get as close as it can to us.
You talking to me? I can't believe that you brought up the spider. You know, that's one of the oldest, the oldest teachings there is. You know, not very many people, they won't talk about Nephilim and angels and stuff like that. You go even farther back than that, and it talks about the spider. And it's crazy that you're actually able to bring that up. If you're really dealing with the ancient ones, with the spiders, why are you even staying around? We as the warriors, you know, when we there are times we have to vacate. And if you're really dealing with the Chapia, if you're really dealing with the ancient ones, buddy, that gun ain't gonna help you.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but you know, I've got a medicine bloodline. A warrior. So we just wanted you to hear the part of where we talk about if they would run a test and check for serpent, bird, fish, animal, that these DNAs will show up in this predator Bigfoot. And he said, well, we actually have ran tests, and people have ran tests, and he said it's kind of funny that you come up with or that you said that, because that is the results that they're coming up with. And this is before the Melville Ketchum report. This is before their DNA.
And they didn't say anything about spiders in that report.
And they still haven't said anything about spiders in the report. But they did say a bear, pig, monkey. She said that's what we got, was a bear, pig, monkey. But you know, when you add the human factor in there, the bits and pieces of human, because it does have that, to have that structure, that it's a bear, pig, monkey, man. Is that what she said? Bear.
And for people that would say there's no, like, for example, here, no monkeys. We just heard another report the other day of escaped monkeys over on the East Coast.
Yeah. And we also said, well, what's in the area? Whatever is in that area, that DNA is going to dictate what this is going to be. So there could have been a circus in that area, a zoo in the area, or like Lee Tracker he was saying,
labs.
We just got a report. I mean, I think it's maybe in North Carolina, where a whole bunch of monkeys were or had escaped into the wild.
In quotes, escaped monkeys from a lab. Well, you know, let's wait to see what disease they try to say comes up from that.
Yeah, and mixes with the Bigfoots, yes, because the Bigfoots are going to eat them. That's new food out there for them. So in that report that on that interview, we had explained if they did this DNA test and they ran it this way, that they would come up with these configurations.
In the book, under Legend of Time, is the origin story, the Choctaw origin story. Sorry, starting on page 43.
In the book, on
it's
page
also in the DVD.
43, The Legend of Time. In the DVD, we read it and we tell you about the Legend of Time, but it's also on page 43 in the Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Warrior's Path.
Also, the people at the very top already know what these things are. They already have the bodies. The people that at the very top labs already know.
Already know, but they're not telling the general public.
They're not even telling the smaller DNA specialists.
So let's check the comments and then we'll move on to the next
go on
part.
with this guy, yeah.
Then we'll get back to this guy.
But that what set us off on that is him saying he was quoting Melba Ketchum's. We wanted you to hear what she really actually said and what the report actually said. Right now they're looking for dogmen and other cryptids and trying to make them fit in when we already told them what it is.
We already told them what it is, and the food source determines what creature is going to come out next.
And so you in its next generations, and so you can name them, and then the next one's going to be different, and then the next one's going to be different. They don't all look like Chewbacca or Harry and the Hendersons.
On page 63, on page 63 in the Prayer to Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, titled Tool and Weapon Use. We're going to read just a little section real fast.
The last paragraph of that section. They are, without exception, all predators. Their only motivation is to consume and fill their unquenchable demonic hunger. Misinformation and wishful thinking has caused many people to lose their lives. They have predator DNA. They have spider DNA. True man and woman do not.
Okay, so Scott. Okay.
Scott says, actually, part modern human, part unidentified DNA, definitely no great ape DNA.
Yeah, the guy, to have modern DNA, they have to eat modern DNA.
And in some cases, they're raping also.
Yeah. Yeah, what is this?
There's the link. That's an entire playlist that says start here. And it's got these two spider DNA plus many other things that are the most important things for, we say are the most important videos that we've made.
Is that on?
To get you started. And I think that's on the Lead Tracker E channel.
Okay, not on the webpage?
I don't know. We'll have to look.
Okay, definitely on the Lead Tracker E page. Check that out. Start there, and you'll hear the DNA also. But it's also in the description below.
Cube says the likeness of everything, but a completion of none. Yes, a combination of everything, but a completion of nothing. They do not have a completion gene. They don't have that thing to end cap it. This is why they're sporadic and random. And when you watch the spider DNA videos, you'll understand what we mean.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie is saying
Bigfoot is still a spider in a hideous form. Yes. Look, they spider crawl. There's so many things that they can do. And once you see the spider in them, you won't unsee it. Once you get that in your mind, to go, when you look back at other photos and things, you'll understand. You'll see it.
the look at the arms, how, and then look at a spider's appendage. The spider has only two parts to the structure. The Bigfoot doesn't have the neck. Now a hybrid will, but a Bigfoot doesn't. The same thing, no neck on both of them. No neck on a spider, no neck on a Bigfoot. The proportions are on the appendages are different. Oh, here's Scott talking about proportions.
Scott says there were portions where the double helix became a single helix in the DNA. Nothing else out there has DNA like this. Clearly corrupted DNA. Yeah. Exactly.
And if you look at a spider sequence, even if it's for spider protein or a spider web, you're going to see that sequence. It's got those single digits, those single, double, a single. You'll see that in that sequence. If you look at a spider sequence, I think we did. That's also in SPIDER-SQUATCH DNA in the description below, or on that link that Lead Tracker he was talking about on her page or her YouTube channel.
And if you'll read Genesis 6, you'll understand more. If you know the story of Noah's Ark and keeping animals in their, each after their own kind. Get these pure animals, each after their own kind that were created by God, not these mutations, you will understand. Cube says God's work is proportional. Yes, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's an artist's hand.
1.618 and 3.14, the Fibonacci sequence.
The golden ratio.
The golden ratio. That's us, the fingerprint of God.
Jamie says, that's right, Jerry. Even her just want funding. She don't even acknowledge you. I'm going to figure this out on Melba Ketchum.
Yeah. Hey, Jody's here.
Hey, Jody.
Thank you so much, Jody. Wow. Thank you so much. And everybody's thanking you. Everybody's thanking you. Saying hello to you, Jody.
Joyce says, blessings, Jody.
Everybody's saying hello. Thank you so much, Jody. I'm glad you're here.
Jeremy's here. Says, hey, y'all, Jeremy is here.
He even says, Jeremy is here.
Present.
Present and accounted for.
Scott says, abominations, corrupted DNA, not created by God the Father. Exactly.
Exactly. Wow. Exactly.
And think of how many gods in other cultures are spider gods, multiple arms and legs, just all these monstrosities. And really, when you
like
monstrosities,
the rake, too.
Yeah. Just start paying attention to that.
Look
Get
at
your
the
mind
body.
adjusted. Yeah.
Think spider, then look at these creatures, and you'll see it.
And why is there a wolf spider, bird spider? You know, every kind of spider.
Every kind of
these, we're not talking about these little mutations, these little things.
Yeah.
We're talking about huge.
Well, let me make sure I got that.
And even read descriptions of angels, even the original angels, and some of them are angelic beings or the hosts of heaven. They're terrifying in description.
Sure.
They weren't supposed to be down here mixing with human DNA. That's why when they fell from their first estate, it was such a huge deal. When they left their first estate, it was a big deal, and it corrupted all man.
Everything.
Corrupted the earth.
Everything here.
Jeremy says, I've mentioned the spider a few times. I get no response. It's like they don't get it. I know, it's mind-boggling. It was difficult for, I can remember just even when I first learned about the dogman, or what we call the walking wolf, and they just have, it's a predator Bigfoot with more canine DNA in it, or wolf DNA. But even that was mind-bending to me. And then to hear about the spider, I was like, wait, recalculating. But when I think of how they were setting up their structures and their hunting patterns and the way that they hunt, it's the same.
And you have to think also in biblical times of giants. A giant spider, not a small spider like we see today. But even though there are giant spiders still here in caves and underground, giant spiders are still here. But when the first ones that came through were giant spiders that could lay eggs and create other giants to us.
And also in the arachnid family is the scorpions. And what do we hear about scorpions in the Bible? And also plagues of scorpions. And in the end times, how the scorpions with lions' faces or faces like men, and those things will come up out of the pit.
And the spider came before the dinosaurs.
The arachnids, yeah.
And if you read the Legend of Time, it all fits right there, and that's in the book.
All these stories around the world intermingle if you just expand your mind a little bit, and to realize how much we've been lied to and how much has been hidden from us. Jamie says, Jerry, Scott Carpenter came to the conclusion it was from the Rephaim giants of old. Yes, but we're going a little further back. But
Yeah.
yes, the same thing.
And also, when these giants died, these predators would still eat the Raphaim giants, the fallen angel hybrids, and still mix that DNA to form a human looking predator spider hybrid, to get that form, to get that translucency.
Cube says abominations of corrupted creation: goat, kangaroo, goanna, wombat, domesticated dog equal or plus predator spider. Yes, depending on where you're at. Cube is in Australia, and so some of these predator Bigfoots that he's capturing photos of and that he is seeing with his own eyes look like these, the kangaroo, the wombat animals that we don't have here. Ours don't look like that here, unless you were in an area where a zoo or something like that, but they're common there. And he's seen some really strange things, but with those kind of features.
And he's showed us a kangaroo man, a wombat
There's
Bigfoot hybrid.
gods in the Middle East that have elephant heads.
And the Bible, lion-faced people.
Yes, dog-faced people, lion-faced people.
In Egypt, you have the Egyptian Dendra zodiac. It's all hybrids.
Graybeard says, Book of Enoch 10, and they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. That's exactly right.
Exactly right.
And that goes with, in Jesus referenced Enoch. So the people that took that out of the Bible didn't want us to know this. Cube says goanna is a large Australian lizard. We have lizard men. We've got a good photo of one that looks like it has an alligator, more reptilian in nature.
Yeah.
Standing on its hind feet at 6 foot tall. Appalachian Mountain Man's here. Good to see you again.
Hey, all right.
Says, hi, everyone. Jerry, how many cryptids are there that you know about?
Let's say
endless variety.
50 million.
Yeah, it's not, that's the whole point of what we're saying here. But you just got in here. Go back and listen to the beginning when we're finished. And you'll see that they'll continue to mutate. About the time you name one, there's going to be another mutation with another combination of genes that have been Frankenstein patched together.
No two predators are the same.
Glad you're here.
In one kind of litter, they'll have all multicolored, kind of like a, like a cat. Although it'll be like a cat will have a calico, they'll have a black cat, they'll have an orange cat or a white cat. But that goes with what is bred with. But with predator Bigfoot, it's what it eats and what it breeds with. So you've got all that DNA being mixed together. So some can come out with horns. Some Bigfoots may come out with hooves. Some Bigfoots may come out with wings, may come out a rake.
So when we're saying Bigfoot, we mean the original predator. We want you to expand your mind beyond Chewbacca.
Yeah. Expand the mind. Expand the mind. Everybody saying hello?
Or just replace that with predator.
Jeremy said he's seen it. And Joyce is saying,
yes, Graybeard, everyone should read the Book of Enoch, but not Enoch 2 or 3. That's a different Enoch. And the Bible at the end says, for anyone that adds to or takes away from the words of this book, that alone lets you know right there that there will be people adding to and taking away from that book. Graybeard says, yes, only first Enoch. I agree. Jamie says, Enoch says they sinned against all the animals. Yes. And then later with the lab work in the demonic DNA and knowledge, they learned how to do it with genes. So they're mutating our plants. They're mixing plant DNA in with humans. The Morgellons disease, look that up sometime. Fibers growing out of people's skin.
Oh yeah, that's
People that look like their bodies are their skin's turning into bark and stone, and if they can mutate it, these demonic people being demonically inspired with demonic knowledge, they'll do it. They are doing it. They've been doing it. Kelly, hey Kelly, says prayers, peace, and love to all. To you too, Kelly.
you too, Kelly.
Jamie says, Jerry, I've seen 2 giant Bigfoots close to 20 feet tall on another researcher. She didn't notice them herself. Yes, people are talking, they act like it's big when it's 12 feet. These things can get up to 40 feet. And if you think that's remarkable, read the descriptions in the Bible. They got much, much, much bigger than that.
Even this guy that we're going to continue with after we catch up, he's talking about a 12-foot as being the big one. And we're going, those are juveniles. Those are small Bigfoots, 12-footers, 15-footers. Those are small ones. Wait till you get up to those 20 and 25 and 40-footers, 35-footers. We seen a 35 one time. One of our other trackers, I've seen multiple 20-footers.
Kelly says, hello, Graybeard, jumping in while on break. Kelly's being welcomed.
Okay.
And okay, we're caught up.
Everybody's welcoming. So let's get back to this guy, and we'll see where he's heading and what
we left off with him saying that Melba said they're half human, half unknown.
Yeah. So
now you know what the unknown is, but the proportions are not half and half.
Yeah, it's not half and half. There's multiple. Like she said, man, bear, monkey, or bear, pig, monkey is the DNA that she got. That's what she got, but she forgot to add the man. So it would have been bear, pig, monkey, man is what she got. And that was an exact report, DNA report. But she just can't fathom it. She can't grab it. Let me take these off real fast. And then we will listen to the next. And we also got to listen to how long this guy's been doing this. And we'll get to that in just a second.
And y'all take a minute and hit like, please. Every week we get, up to 200 people, 150, 200 people, and the same 25 likes, at most 30 likes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of you watching that you keep coming back week after week, but not taking the time to hit like, and that's what will get this information out there. We know you're not getting it anywhere else.
She sent. All 11 institutions came back to her saying the very same thing. Yeah, they're half human and half non-hybrid.
So this guy doesn't know, but he's spreading the wrong information. He didn't even read the report or even listen to what she was saying.
Or he's not relaying it accurately.
Or he's trying to make it fit into his theory.
Yeah.
Like so many other people.
Well, with that being said, if they're an unknown hybrid, that's what we're still looking for. What the hell, where do they come from?
On page...
Which one?
Legend of Time.
Oh,
on page 43 and on page 43 in the Prayer to Bigfoot and Spiritual Warriors Path, we talk about the legend of time. And it talks about exactly where they come from.
43 through 49.
43 through 49. It says exactly where they come from. It's in the book.
Did some of these UFOs bring them in?
So this guy's guessing. He's given information, or he's given his opinion. He's given his guesses. He has no factual. So he shouldn't even talk about this part unless he has the facts.
Have they been here for thousands of years? Have they been on Noah's Ark? We don't know.
Then why would you even say that?
Why are you giving your opinion and finish up with, we don't know?
Man is man. Animal is animal. These things are a stolen combination of both. God did not say specifically this family, Noah, who was perfect in his lineage. Now, it wasn't that Noah was a perfect man, but he was perfect in his lineage. He was not infected, and he wanted him to collect the animals that were perfect and each after their own kind. He didn't say anything about, and then throw a few mutations on there while you're at it. The ark was to save God's creations of pure animal, pure man.
In the first chapter of the Bible, in Genesis, it names off the animals, the birds, and says this is good. It doesn't say predator Bigfoot.
It's good, yeah.
It doesn't say what's going to eat all man and all the animals and all the birds and fish. It doesn't say that.
But it
Everybody
does.
at
But it does talk about needing the ark because of these monsters that were devouring, these giants that were devouring everything.
Everything on land that was eaten, everything in the water, everything in the air.
UFOs bring them in. Have they been here for thousands of years? Have they been on Noah's Ark? We don't know.
everybody asks all those questions.
We've had so many questions and stuff going on. I've worked with 6 different clans in different states. I've been to 18 states, 1 country. I've been up to Canada.
Oh wow.
Yeah, went deep into the back stretch forest area. Yeah.
You don't have to go all the way to Canada. You don't have to go to the Pacific Northwest. You just going into your backyard, any town, any city has these things. They're everywhere.
Although they are in all those places, and that's why we want trackers everywhere, so they can notice the patterns that are happening in each of their areas. These people that try to get you to fund them so that they can go into the upper Northwest or into Alaska or whatever to find these things, they don't know what to look for. They don't know what they're looking at around them.
And they have a category called unknown. Look in that category. You'll see that
it's bigger than
their unknown hybrid that they're looking for is a cryptid creature.
Did y'all ever see on Raiders of the Lost Ark that final scene when they took the Ark of the Covenant and then they boxed it up and they took that crate into this humongous factory full of all these other crates? Well, that's your unknown stack right there. That's your unknown file room.
That is your unknown file. And also, oh, okay, we'll get to that.
What they call the shield. And wow, something else. Took a train back as far as the train could go. I've been to Washington State. I've met a lot of the old time Bigfooters. You know, people claim, well, you're an old closet yourself now. Well, maybe I am. But I always try to keep a low profile for that reason. Because number one, the forest people don't want people to know they exist for safety reasons.
Yeah, because if people, they have a fear of exposure, because exposure means people know what they're doing and people can protect themselves. And exposure means they get run off or they get killed.
We're going to read this one part. It's on page 61 in The Predator Bigfoot, The Spiritual Warrior's Path. It's under the chapter called Tool and Weapon Use. It's on the second page of that, page 61.
The last paragraph, many uneducated people think the predator Bigfoots around areas of human habitation are curious. Predator Bigfoots and predator Bigfoot hybrids are not curious. They are cautious from fear of exposure, which leads to starvation. They are cunning, strategic, and predatory, using clothing as urban camouflage. The lady in white that people see near tree lines or walking on dark, isolated roads is a predator Bigfoot holding a dress or blanket up in front of itself with its head down, the hair hanging in front of its face. Always look at the feet if possible and never approach such a being.
These creatures, these predators, have three fears: the fear of exposure, the fear of starvation, and the fear of losing its prey. And when we're talking about losing its prey, we're talking about the gifters, or the child that is targeting, its target meal, the people that it targets. That's the fear of losing its prey. Some people who are gifters have fed these things and then moved away. But then other people move there not knowing that these predators are going to come to their house looking for food, because they know that's a source or a place where they've been given food.
These things are in it for a long game, just like a human predator that is a groomer. They can go on for years. Your food in the pantry. A gifter is food in the pantry. A gifter will energetically feed them. A gifter will bring other people. They feed on fear. They don't just feed on blood, which, you know, they do feed on blood and flesh, but they also feed on energy. They suck energy. They're parasites and predators.
Just like any place where you know that there's something that will eat your family, once you find that it's in your area, you start doing some serious scouting, safety precautions, teaching your children not to be going out without them. It's the same thing with these predators. They have the fear of exposure, because once people find out that they're man eaters and that they will take children, they will rape man and female, they will take entire villages if they get a chance to eat.
But also, they're not so terrified that they're not up there creeping and looking in people's windows, setting up blinds, stalking blinds outside of people's homes, outside of daycares, activity centers.
Tapping on windows.
They're not trying to hide way out in the middle of the woods. They're up close. They're cautious, but they're not just terrified of humans. They're terrified of being exposed so that the humans don't tolerate it.
And they're trying to lure people out.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to lure people out at nighttime by slapping the house or tapping on the window, making a call.
That also causes fear.
Getting the dogs to yelp and go crazy. People will come out just to try to see what it is. They'll put children's toys near the tree line. They'll use pets. They'll use hand maneuvers to wave at the children, to call them with a come here gesture. They can mimic voices. They'll use the voice of the father, the voice of the mother,
voice of the child,
the voice of the child, to try to lure people out. So these things aren't afraid. They're cautious.
Cunning.
Strategic. It's food for them. Here is a segment from the new book. It's a child's book. You see the trampoline with a bowl behind it, a predator Bigfoot behind the tree waiting, and a ball that the predator Bigfoot put close to the tree line for the child to come and pick the ball up. But that bowl is already behind the trampoline where the children play.
It's a pattern. We're seeing it over and over. Get your toys and teach your kids not to go up against the wood lines.
So they had the fear of being what is it?
Exposed.
Fear of being exposed, because they will be hunted. Once you know you have a man eater, something that's going to take your pets, or has already, and now you know that you found tracks, you found structures. Now you know why your pet's missing, or if anyone goes missing, And so many people go missing. Look around because these predators are around there.
Well, maybe I am, but I always try to keep a low profile for that reason. Because number one, the forest people don't want people to know they exist for safety reasons. That's the reason they do that. So,
Like the massive.
Also, they're not forest people. They're not people. They're using the form. They're a predator. They're a spider using a human form to get closer to people to eat.
Of people.
yeah.
Because they still seem to communicate with some people.
Well,
They communicate with the dupes and the future prey.
And this part is also in our new book, but we haven't put it out yet, but we have talked about this on this channel. Gifters, the gifters enter into a mating ritual. And rape is not something in the spider, the animal world. You know, you see wild animals, that's not rape to them. That's mating.
That's the urge to reproduce.
Urge to reproduce. Same thing with a spider. There's a spider actually called the gifting spider. Well, it will catch a fly or an insect, wrap it up, take it over to the other gifting spider, the female, and give it to that spider. And once that spider starts to, and just like a lion will to a female lion, will mate with that spider while the female spider is enjoying that gift. So when people are gifting these creatures, they're entering into a dangerous mating ritual, and rape is not in the animal and the insect world.
They don't have that moral code.
What a human would think of as rape, the animal, the Bigfoot, the predators, the hybrids don't see it as rape. They're seeing it as, you're gifting me, I'm gifting you, let's mate. However, that that mating happens, if it's a woman or even a man gifting these predators, they're voluntarily in going into a mating ritual. But 99% of the gifters don't know that this is a mating ritual and what's going to happen once they're out there by themselves or they have the opportunity to mate with these things.
Some of these will consume the prey that they are mating with at the same time.
And also, they will rape and eat people at the same time.
It's not an act of love to them, in other words.
It's just mating with them.
Jeremy says, I wonder if the octopus squid is part of this. Yes, they're all the same kind of creature.
The eight-legged octopus. Think about it, eight-legged spider.
Yes, coming out of the sea first.
Yeah. Sharks, all those are hybrids. But these gifters just don't know what they're getting into.
The tarantulas will tap on the glass to get their mate to come to them.
And also these gifters, being a gifter, when you're going out there, these things will come back to your house. The more you gift, the more this thing is going to come closer and closer and closer.
Consider it.
So gifters don't understand, but gifters are willing to sacrifice their children. They're willing to sacrifice their entire family because they're bringing these creatures to their home now.
And teaching their children to call them, to whoop for them, to gift them. Tell them, oh, it's just curious. It's peeking in your teenage daughter's room. It's just curious. It's out there in the woodlines watching your kids play.
All the wrong information that gets a lot of people in that missing category.
They do that.
Like the masses of people,
Yeah.
because they still seem to communicate with some people.
Well, and that's the reason I was
confusing.
telling you. The reason they do that is because they already studied them. They've already watched them, studied their mind, watched how.
We agree.
They are studying. They're waiting for that opportunity.
How they treat their kids.
Exactly. They're watching, because if you're abusive to your dog, telling it to shut up and hitting it, or your horse, it's okay to take that horse or take that dog.
That isolated kid that nobody watches or lets just go out there, or maybe the people are screaming and the woman wanders off, gets to wandering a lot, or the kid gets to wandering a lot. They know that one's not loved.
Yeah.
That one's easy prey.
If they're screaming at that kid, yelling at the kid,
love is one of the best deterrents of demons and any of these demonic combinations.
Leaving that kid outside or letting that kid play outside by itself, they're waiting, they got that ball by the tree line. Leaving the dog out there by itself without a dog house or a pen, something secure, that's an opportunity. They know that that dog's not loved. If you're yelling at that kid and that kid's outside playing by itself, it could be a spouse. It could even be the man saying, well, I'm going to go off and just hike. Or even the woman, I'm going to go off in the woods, or I'm going to go sit outside in a gazebo. I'm going to go sit outside by myself. They know the people are arguing. They know love is not there. And if that person is outside by themselves, whether it's a child, a dog, or male or female, that's an opportunity, and they're going to take it.
Just like a human predator would do. Here's one, and we've shown, a lot of you have seen this one before, but this is a predator Bigfoot in a hoodie. There's a little dog. Can you see? I don't think you can see the dog in this one, but it's a still shot from a video from a doorbell ring cam.
And that's also on a front porch.
So they just want to get close. They're studying because they want to be able to mimic. They want to be able to lure more people, just like any other predator.
And I'm sure, and I'm 90% sure these people argue from time to time. Even though we know them, I'm sure they argue from time to time because they are out there by themselves pretty much in an isolated area. And sometimes, money problems, things like that may cause families to argue. But these predators are attracted to that arguing, that yelling, that draws them in. Human voices draw them in.
Watch them, study their mind, watch how they treat their kids, their wife, strangers, neighbors, their animals, their pets, and so on. If they could be trustworthy, then they feel like, well, maybe we can communicate with them.
And trustworthy to a predator Bigfoot is someone who doesn't know that these are predators.
Yeah.
If these people are trying to gift and communicate, these predators are like, okay, you're a good meal.
Dude, it's no different than a human predator saying, this will be our secret.
Yeah, let's keep it between us. You don't tell, I won't tell, and I'm gonna get you.
And that's why I was saying it all stands for that. We do things on their terms, not ours.
You do.
Yeah.
This guy does. Everyone else takes precautions against predators.
And has a responsibility of taking care of their families.
And this guy does it. He's willing to sacrifice other people. He's willing to sacrifice his family. You can already tell that.
Best way for somebody to meet a Bigfoot, go to a campground, sit there, and just think good thoughts.
Wrong. If you're at a campground, they're coming in. Like we tell everybody, that may be your first time at that campground, but that's not the Bigfoot's first time at that campground. Each campground's already going to have structures. It's already going to have blinds. It's already going to be set up for an ambush.
They're not reading your thoughts. You're just being still enough that they can, that you notice them.
Send it out into the forest. There.
And he's saying, have good thoughts and they'll come in. You cook a steak out there, they'll come in.
You look like a tasty steak yourself, they'll come in.
You bring children out there, they're going to come in. You bring a baby out there, they're going to come in. You drink out there and party and loud noises and be careless, they're going to be moving in while you're doing all that. What
also irritates me about this is that kind of attitude is another form of victim shaming, because we know someone that was raped and attacked by a group of them, and he didn't go out there with wrong intentions. He went out there basically underestimating them, not listening to the warnings, he didn't necessarily trust them, but he didn't think they were a danger. He thought people were exaggerating, and he hasn't been right since. It's a very, very tragic story. And so this junk like this that he's saying is simply not true. And it's just a way to make people feel guilty for something that's already very traumatic. And he wasn't armed. He didn't go out there to intend harm on them.
And he's trying to take the predator nature off of these predators. Mm-hmm. He's trying to say, well, they caused a problem. They didn't have good intentions. They didn't do things on their terms. They didn't do things on their terms. They didn't bring them food and gifts. And
our friend that got one tried to snatch him out of the bathtub when he was a little boy. He wasn't out there trying to cause trouble for these things.
No. So this guy is already
wrong.
Victim shaming, saying if you had a bad encounter, that's your fault. That's wrong. These things are predators. They're looking for the advantage. They're looking for the opportunity to take somebody, to eat somebody. And if you find somebody who's missing and they label it as exposure, that's because the Bigfoots drank the blood from that body. And if anybody, any coroner checks for blood loss, you're going to find it when you find a missing person.
Sit there and just think good thoughts. Send it out into the forest. They'll pick it up. You don't have to say nothing out loud. By chance, for a reason to prove some of that.
They're watching when any vehicle comes into a campground. They're watching that hiking trail that everybody takes daily. They're watching those fishing spots that people go to, those swimming areas, that boating area, that lake that people go fishing all the time or swimming. They're predators and they're waiting.
If what he says is true, they could say, hold up 5 fingers, and these things would understand that they said, hold up 5 fingers, and they'd hold up 5 fingers to these people that believe they're their friends. It's not like that. They're observing so they can mimic or capture.
And people go to these camping spots just to cook out, just to have a good time, maybe do some canoeing and fishing. They're not expecting these predators to be waiting for them.
Knocking them out of boats, snatching them underwater.
Drowning and drinking the blood.
Well, right before a year before I gave this, I retired, gave this to Leroy Nail in Martinsville as a Morgan Monroe State Force. Now, all these did things different than he does. He has them scattered out, campers.
Now he's talking about bringing campers in to prove that these things are good and that you can have a peaceful interaction.
Well, right before a year before I gave this, I retired, gave this to Leroy Nail in Martinsville as a Morgan Monroe State Force. Now, all these did things different than he does. He has them scattered out, campers. I always had people come in as a cluster, all of us together. And
So this new guy that in the beginning of this video, if you go to the what's this called, the Indiana Bigfoot Research Organization, if you go and check that channel out, that guy is taking people out to campsites and putting them in
isolated
camp areas and in areas where no one's at, and they're not together.
Yeah.
To get a reaction, and he may be making money off that, taking campers out and stuff like that.
We hope not.
And we hope not, but he's endangering people. So if you're ever around this person, don't go out.
Don't camp with them.
Don't camp with this person.
Like a Boy Scout campground.
But this guy talking, this Abner guy, Abney, has been doing this in the past. He said, I take them out and I keep them together.
He clusters them together, and Boy Scout camps, he says, too.
Clustering all of us together in like a Boy Scout campground. That way we're there, we can.
Boy Scout campgrounds are some of the biggest places to get the interaction because of all the children.
Communicate with each other a lot easier. And
communicate with these predators a lot easier.
A lot more friendship. I had people from other states coming in.
Oh, I think he means the campers can communicate with each other.
Oh, okay. Well, he has other people from other states coming in to give them an interaction, to give them an encounter, which I don't know why people want to do that. That's a predator that could take you at any time.
Because they're told they're forest people.
Oh, well, this guy, yeah, you're right.
And we actually agree that a larger group together, there is safety in numbers to be together and not to be isolated.
And also in our book, we say if you're going to do that, have a fire guard, like in the military. Have people watching that tree line. Have people awake at all times. Because as soon as you go to sleep, I'm not sure what, I got it on one of the pages here.
They're listening for that last person to be snoring. They're waiting for that one person to walk out by themselves to go to the restroom somewhere. They're waiting for the people to be drinking too much.
Yeah.
And pass out. They're waiting for people to get blind and staring in the fire. Kids to play hide and seek in the dark.
They're already at that campground. There's blinds already there.
They've seen a million campgrounds.
And these people are taking people who don't know the information that is in this book.
I went to one group campground, not with these people, but when I was very first learning, and I appreciated they taught me how to make a cast. And I appreciate they told me what a twist was called. And beyond that, I was not impressed. I thought they were nice people, but I thought they were setting up for some very dangerous situations. And they were.
And they were.
Clustering all of us together in like a Boy Scout campground. That way we're there, we can communicate with each other a lot easier and a lot more friendship. I had people from other states coming in. And I would say, I wouldn't have to say anything. I would think, okay, forest people, we got new people coming in.
I just brought you some new blood, food,
energy.
Somebody may come up missing. You could definitely get the energy up and feed off the energy. They do feed off energy as well.
They can mimic, they can study people.
And he's telling these predators, he's not telling any single one. He's talking to all the Bigfoots that's in the area. and letting them know I've got a whole bunch of people for you. Come and get them. They're here ready to be eaten.
I wouldn't have to say anything. I would think, okay, forest people, we got new people coming in. You want to have some fun tonight?
Demons run with these things.
Do you want to have some fun tonight? He's talking to the predator Bigfoots.
And they can't read the mind, but they know he brings those people in.
He knows he brings blood and flesh,
But the,
food,
yeah,
everything that these things want. This guy is setting up a whole bunch of people who don't know these things are predators and thinking that it's just going to be okay.
he doesn't think they're predators. He thinks they're
He
forest
doesn't
people.
think. Yeah, you're right. This guy doesn't know. And people are taking his advice and his opinion, reading his books, and going out there and doing things that he's doing, and are coming up missing.
And then they'll go tell other people, this is how we do this.
Come on in and make all kinds of noise and freak people out. Just
They're going to do that anyway. He thinks he's taking credit for it.
That's just
He's just bringing people there, and they're around. They're
and
always
that's
around.
and that's irritating for him to try to take credit for setting these people up.
Like he's got that kind of control over these things.
He has
He's
no
no different than a
control over
person
these
with a
things.
Ouija board.
And he is just bringing people in, trying to take credit for the interaction when these predators are waiting for people to come in there
And getting a kick out of it.
and laughing at people.
have fun yourself.
Wow.
Sure enough, 4 o'clock in the morning. Here,
4 o'clock in the morning,
People trying to sleep,
when everybody's asleep,
vulnerable.
not knowing what's going on. Let me look and
Which is normal. This is about the time they're going to come in, or really even earlier than that.
I had another.
You heard on that other video, or that the part of the interview we played earlier. Did we play the part where they try to grab his dad and his girlfriend, snatch him out of the tent, pull him up the mountain?
No, we cut that part
We
off.
cut that part out and then laughed about it like, that's just funny. No, it's not funny. It's predatory.
make all kinds of noise and freak people out. Just have fun yourself.
Wow.
Sure enough, 4 o'clock in the morning. Here they come. I had some jumping on the back of my camper. I had one that pulled a zipper down on a guy's tent.
Whoa.
We don't find anything about that funny.
Sure don't. Let me look at.
He's putting those people in danger and getting a hoot out of it, and these things are feeding off of that fear. Did you think that guy thought it was funny that one of these things unzipped his tent? We're looking for a page real quick. And to me, that shows supposed to be a very nice person. It shows a mean streak. I don't know.
Sure does. Let me look at something real fast.
Some people don't recover from true fear, from terror. Some people, it breaks them.
We're going to read out of the book under the chapter In the Woods, Isolated Areas, and Rural Mailboxes, but we're reading from page 174.
We start with when camping.
Yep.
When camping, always have a designated watchman and take turns. As in the military, have a fire guard. Be aware at night. Never go to sleep without someone standing guard. The predators will wait for snoring and then move in. This is how people wake up to their tent being unzipped and a Bigfoot looking inside. Don't sleep out in the open or sleep in a tent with your feet hanging out. Do not eat where you sleep. This is how people get wrapped up in their tents and dragged down the mountainsides or up, as one tracker and his girlfriend were. These dangerous encounters can be avoided.
And this guy is talking exactly about what we talk about in the book on page
174.
174. And the Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path book. He's saying, he's making fun of that, and we're saying, don't do this.
He's making a joke out of it.
Had some jumping on the back of my camper. I had one that pulled a zipper down on a guy's tent.
Whoa.
Reach in and touch him.
Wow.
I had eggs thrown at tents. I mean,
And this is funny. This is not funny. These predators are trying to get you to come out so they can feed on you.
I had one that came in one night that was, he sounded like it was evil.
Sounded like it was evil. Huh. Imagine.
Sounded like it was evil.
I mean, I had one that came in one night that was, he sounded like it was evil.
Wow.
He just kept doing that. He kept waking me up. And I told him, I said, you know, we do have guns. You better leave. I thought that in my mind.
So he's saying you go out there with good intentions and you're going to be okay. But now he's saying in his mind, I've got a gun.
Why would he have a gun or feel he needs a gun? Or feel he needs to tell them he has a gun if he's not scared of them and they're fine.
And they're forced people and good and just curious.
And his intentions were good.
And his intentions were good and he's thinking good thoughts. He just contradicted himself.
They all do.
They all do. Actually, you're right. You're right.
He kept waking me up. And I told him, I said, you know, we do have guns. You better leave. I thought that in my mind. About that time, a foot came down on a piece of dead wood. Crack! Snapped it in half.
Wow.
He took off running. Well, what he did, he went to the next campsite.
So while these guys are having good intentions, this creature who
Was scaring him.
He had to think of a
Feeding
weapon.
off his energy.
And he said this Bigfoot went to another campground, which is very close.
And I don't know what he did over there, but he had those people running towards their car, leaving.
Hilarious.
That's very funny.
He doesn't know what they did over there, but he had those people run into their car and leaving.
They must have not had good thoughts like he did.
Yeah.
Even though he had to say, we've got a gun and you better leave. So not only did he attract the Bigfoots to that area where he was, this Bigfoot went to the next campground after that. And these people had to run out, get in their car and leave.
If he didn't know what they did over there, that means he didn't know those people.
Nor care
No.
what that Bigfoot was doing over there.
No.
After he had drawn it in on the people that he was with. Man, this guy's making me mad already.
They always make us.
They always make, that's why we can't watch these things. These people and these are supposed to be the people that people listen to.
Yeah, that's concerning.
And these people write books of all the wrong information.
Yep.
Oh, these people just irritate me.
I don't know what he did over there, but he had those people running towards their car, leaving.
Another guy
Oh, I
laughs.
mean, I've had a lot of experience with them. I don't like them coming up slapping on the house because I've had.
Why don't you like that? Isn't
Yeah.
that just all fun and games?
And why don't you have
like
good
that?
intentions?
Why, they're your friend, they can read your mind, right?
And they're coming to your house.
So they know you don't like that. Why would your friend do something you don't like?
Why would your friend scare you like that?
Why would your friend who's terrified of humans do that?
Yeah, why would, if they're so scared of you, why would they come to your house and slap your house and go to the next campground? And he was saying that if you got good intentions, you're going to have a good
peaceful time
with them.
your forest friend.
And yet he's not saying that right now. He's saying these things will come to your house. These things will do this. They will scare people.
Yeah.
But he also stated before, whenever it was kind of peaceful in the beginning, now he's getting to the truth.
Right.
But in the beginning, he said, oh, they're good people. They're forest people.
I guess somewhere along the way, he quit doing things on their terms.
Yeah. So now he's getting into what they really do. And if you got good intentions like that, your house should have good intentions. You don't just have good intentions once you leave the house. Your lifestyle should be of a good reflection of that when you go out. If not, then he's putting out a fake good intention and he's a bad person.
If what he says is true.
If what he says is true, you're correct.
Oh, I mean, I've had a lot of experience with them. I don't like them coming up slapping on the house because I've had that happen. You don't want to feed them on a regular basis.
Wait, he was right in the first part. He said you don't want to feed him. True. But then he adds on a regular basis, which means he feeds them.
That means he feeds them. He gifts them and they're coming to his house.
And he knows it'll create a problem.
He knows it'll create a problem. He knows gifting is a problem. But he's not telling people that these things will come to your house if you gift. They will follow you home. Just like we talked about earlier.
Hey, Scott, good night.
Oh.
He's got to go.
Oh, good night, Scott.
Yeah.
I think we're going to.
We may not go too much further.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get through.
We're making our point.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get through with all this. This guy's just irritating us all the way already. So
we'll do just a little bit more, but not the whole more. But you guys can go watch the whole more yourself, and you know exactly what we'll say by now.
Yeah, you know what we'll say about this guy anyway.
They do find some good structures and bows and such. You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of not
everywhere.
That first one, but yeah. We showed you the photos, what to look for. So.
This guy's a gifter. These things are coming to his house, but he's saying don't feed them, which he's feeding them, but he's saying don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like he did to get them to come to his house.
So he feeds them sporadically.
Now he feeds them sporadically
but
just
when they
to
started
keep the
beating
peace.
on his house, he didn't like that because he went from beating on his house to you don't want to feed them. So that means he was feeding them. That's why they're banging on his house. Like, where's our food? Hey.
Yeah, where's our food? Come out and give us some food. Or you.
Yeah.
Slapping on the house because I've had that happen. You don't want to feed them on a regular basis. Working with habituation, it's fine to leave them gifts because they will eventually leave you gifts.
No, it isn't fine to leave gifts. We talked about that's a part of a mating ritual.
You don't leave these things gifts. They will gift you back because they want to mate.
Would you leave a demon a gift?
Would you leave a human predator a gift? Would you allow your children to give this thing a gift? And would you allow these things to come to a human predator to come to your house if you've got children?
Right.
You wouldn't do none of this.
You wouldn't say, well, they won't hurt us because we have good intentions.
That's exactly right. And this guy will get a lot of people hurt just by what he's saying. Do not gift.
Ever.
Ever.
Do not accept gifts.
Do not feed these things.
if you see a pretty feather all of a sudden placed up on your porch, don't touch that thing. Get rid of it. You know,
Stomp
sweep it
on it.
off, stomp it, spit on it,
Spit
get
on
rid
it.
of it. Let them know
Kick
you
it
don't
out of
want
it.
it. Don't gift me.
Don't gift me. I'm
I
not your
want nothing
mate.
to do with it. And a feather is just one example.
And by mate, we're being polite because to a
Right.
human, that's called rape.
Yeah.
You know, you can gift them. Mostly, you don't want to give them a bunch of candy or sweets because that's hard on their teeth. Now it will kill them.
That's the only thing I would do if I would find some way to kill these things who are coming up to the house, taking dogs, taking the food, and taking people. You don't want these things around you at any time.
What happened to Fox?
Wow.
Janice's,
Janice, he's going to go back to Janice Carter, who is also leading people wrong. She knows that they have raped.
But also, yeah, with that Janice Carter story, it was either her sister, it was one of her family members that was gifting
Fox and Blackie.
Fox
right?
and Blackie, and these, I think it was Blackie, the Bigfoot named Blackie that they named, raped her, and she had a child, and the military took it. She was in a mating ritual,
And she was never right after that.
and she was never right after that, and she's still not.
Oh, but they're just human.
It was just
hybrids.
high.
They're just.
It was just a harmless gifting mating ritual.
She must have had bad intentions.
Yeah, she must have bad intentions, like this guy's saying. But that's the story. If you look up that story, Blackie and Fox, with Janice Carter, and find that story, she was
Sweet woman leading people into.
these mating rituals.
So I don't know. Is that sweet?
That's not sweet.
It's
That's
not
a witch.
sweet.
That's someone giving the wrong information. That's a witch doing that.
Even some people that we care about very much, that trained and they know every single thing that we're teaching y'all, got misled
Got
by
misled.
her.
Yeah. So that's the story with Janice Carter, is that her sister or her family member
Somebody.
was raped by these Bigfoots that they're gifting because they didn't know they were entering into a mating ritual with these creatures.
So she's still out there teaching people how to communicate with them and mind speak with them. And
leave gifts, but they will eventually leave you gifts. You know, you can gift them. Mostly, you don't want to give them a bunch of candy or sweets because that's hard on their teeth. Now it will kill them.
hard on their
That's
teeth.
what
These
happened to
things
Fox.
chew bones.
Wow.
Janice's clan leader, Fox. His real name was Hockey, which means right out the moon or stars or whatever. He was real thick.
Oh,
He
wow.
was 69 inches from one shoulder blade to the other shoulder blade.
Wow.
He weighed 800 pounds and he was only 7.5 feet tall. He was huge.
Wow.
They get much
Shannon,
bigger.
his
They get much
7.5 feet tall. That's a juvenile. That's a careless juvenile. That's not a huge one. That's, oh my goodness. If you read the book, in the back of the book about the Alabama story, you're going to find out that that's what he's talking about is a small juvenile. To a normal person, 7 foot tall. But if you read in the book, in the back of the book, in the Alabama section, in this book, you're going to find out that there are bigger ones. And that this guy's, he's not getting it. He's giving people the wrong information. Gifting caused what this woman went through.
his mate, pretty good sized girl herself. She's close to 7 foot tall.
That's funny that you use the word mate, because I've heard
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they
people
call
say
mate.
they call them a mate.
Yeah, mate. They don't
Huh.
say, well, I'm married. They mate for life. unless the woman leaves first. She'll just walk away. You won't ever see her again. And the
These things don't have a structure like that. They will mate with, and multiple will mate. That's why you get different DNAs in there. Just like a cat will mate with different cats. He's trying to put a human kind of, what's it?
Like moral codes, or
Yeah, like they even have morals.
they're trying to humanize them.
Humanizing, that's the word. Trying to humanize these things.
male would have to do something pretty drastic for her to do that.
Wow.
You know, they have their own laws. They have their own way
Demons
of
have their own
governing.
laws. The spirit world has its own laws.
They have spiritual laws like we do. That's why your home is safe. That's why
Well,
the children of God are safe. You don't break your thresholds. They're not allowed to go into a house of God. But if you leave the doors open, you leave your thresholds open. That's
spiritual thresholds.
That's spiritual thresholds in the mind and things like that. You're allowing an open door for these things, and they will take advantage of that.
Themselves. Let's start out with a circle, a wagon wheel. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main clan on the center.
Yep.
When a juvenile gets old enough to have his own baby, he will leave that clan.
We're going to go ahead and stop here.
Because we're almost at 3 hours.
We're almost at 3 hours.
It will be 3 days getting through this one, but y'all get the point. And we'll run through some.
And
the rest of the comments.
These people are already making us already upset. So let's get back to. We'll finish up with the comments and questions.
We love y'all. We love mankind. We want to keep mankind safe, even the dummies.
Yeah, even those.
Even the misled and the deceived. We want you to be safer. And we want this kind of misinformation to stop being shared. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, we don't want this information, these people's opinions being shared out there. It's getting a lot of people killed, harmed, hurt, harassed, stalked. People are missing everywhere. They're going out to the woods doing exactly what this guy's talking about.
And when you listen to people like this, they're always going to contradict themselves. Well, they're perfectly safe, but except, I don't like when they do this and I don't do it. You're not going to find us to be inconsistent. A predator is always a predator. We've actually lost friends because we will never agree that some are good, some are bad. A predator is always a predator. They're always going to be a predator. A demon's always a demon. There's not good demons. Huh?
I think we read that too.
Scott had said no primate DNA was present per Dr. Ketchum, although in the other thing she said something monkey man. Mm-hmm. So no primate DNA in some samples, but there is in other samples.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not descendants of the great apes. Jamie says, Jerry, I saw the giant Bigfoot. It was all black. It was not. I couldn't believe it was enormous. Yes. Mm-hmm. Crazy big and darker than dark, blacker than black. They come in all colors, but the ones that they use the night to their advantage. Kelly says, have a good rest of the evening. I'll catch the replay in the evening or in the AM.
Okay. Good seeing you, Kelly.
Jeremy says, I wonder if the octopus squid is part of this. Yes.
Yes.
Nathan says, good evening, y'all. Hey, Nathan.
Nathan's here. All right.
Scott says they are deceived.
They sure are.
We can skip the greetings. Scott says, Jeremy, good question. DNA like nothing else on our planet.
Exactly.
Joyce says, I heard the octopus has a brain in each tentacle. Odd.
Mm-hmm.
Cube says, oh, never mind, skip that. Scott
Oh,
had said, it's
oh.
all good until it's not. That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's all good until it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Until they decide they want you as food.
Today's the day.
And if you ever watch the stream with Fred from Alaska, when you know your food, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
When you know your food.
Cube says, this researcher is nothing more than a Pied Piper. Yes.
Oh, he's just
Just
drawing
because they
people.
got a sweet country accent and
Soft
it
demeanor
doesn't
and
make them,
using the older person kind of weak look, but
it doesn't mean that they're wise. Tracker Lorna says that guy is wrong, all wrong in every way. Yes.
every way.
Christian says
Hey, Christian.
arriving a little late from work. Regards, Jerry and Ella and all my tracker friends. Blessings, everyone. Blessings to you too, Christian.
All right, Christian. Do we have your email? If you're still here, if you could put your email in the comments, because we sent out some links to people who may be interested in the next tracking course, but we didn't have your email.
Elastic Machinery says, just now woke from a nap. I missed some of the show. Wow, this really already seems like a wild episode. Maybe he's nervous laughing. He's already contradicting himself. Cognitive distortion. Yes, you'll like the beginning of it, Elastic. Cube says, yes, Tracker Lorna, his mind is far from sound and might even be a closet psychopath. No one should be listening to him.
Yeah, nobody should be listening to that guy. And the people who are taking over his channel or his research,
they're being dangerous too, but in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it's like they're using good people in the wrong way. That's going to get other people hurt.
And they actually seem like very sweet people.
They do.
They genuinely do seem like sweet people, but they're going to get themselves or someone else hurt. Elastic Machinery says, oh, wow, I missed so much. Hey, Tracker, Lorna, and Cube. Hey, Mods, Jerry, Chat, Ella. Scott says, I have to call it a night, everyone. May our Heavenly Father bless you with a closer relationship to him. Amen to that.
Yeah. Everybody saying good night to Scott.
Yeah, we took a long time getting through 10 minutes.
We only got through 10 minutes of that stuff. Everybody saying have a good night, Scott.
Tracker Learner says, wow, this guy's Elastic Machinery says, wow, this guy's a real piece of work. Good night, Scott.
Sure is.
And he's written 4 books teaching people about these things.
Teaching people how to have
right
good
before
intentions.
He guesses.
Right before he guesses and then
and
contradicts.
Hopes he's right.
And
contradicts himself. Cube says, I'd like to take this researcher to tracking area 2, right? I'm sure he'll be fine with all of his good intentions with the Bigfoot there. Oh, Cube said, far out, this researcher, what an evil man he is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's evil, but he's entertaining evil, no doubt.
He is.
Where are we? I already read that one.
He said, I'm sure he'll be fine with all of his good intentions with the Bigfoot here.
Yeah, except when they're slapping on his house and scaring him.
And scaring other people and campers.
Cube says, deluded and evil in one neat package.
Yep.
Elastic says, I've never heard of this Janice person. How would he know it's exactly 69 inches? Why are these people so very clueless? This is frustrating.
Oh my goodness.
And she gets a lot of screenplay.
Yeah, and if you just look at her,
we find it very concerning. We didn't have to watch too much to know she's headed in a dangerous direction or is fully leading others into dangerous directions.
And it doesn't matter
what your intentions are if you're leading people into danger. Doesn't matter if you love them and think you're right, but you're wrong and you're leading them to danger.
And what she's doing, because our trackers and anyone who's taken that course knows more than her. And you'll see if you ever watch her channel, which we did, I think one time, and was like, this woman doesn't know what she's doing. She's out there guessing. But anyone
And
can do what
she
she's
may
doing.
even have,
Just
yeah.
she'll understand everything
It's like
that's in this book.
You know, it's like Eve saying, "Does," or it's like Satan saying, "Did God really say that?" You know, they give you just enough truth and then that little twist. So if you're communicating with something and getting mind speak from something that is demonic in origin, fallen angel bloodline in origin, cosmic spider in origin, okay, let's say they tell you 8 things true, but the other 2 things are a lie.
And they will never tell you the truth as far as their origin
You're
or their purpose.
Still going to get into danger. Yeah, that's why we read that verse tonight. Go look it up in chat. We read it out in the beginning. It's that those 3 verses apply. Go back and read those. Tracker Lorna says any researcher starts whooping, whistling, gifting, I click off, can't watch. Right.
Us too. And we couldn't finish this guy.
Cube says worst researcher yet, Jerry and Ella.
Yeah. And that's a researcher of 49 years.
It's got a lot of fans and followers. And this nothing personal, mister. Nothing personal. This is all for fair use, educational purposes.
But you don't
We
know
don't
what
care
you're
who
doing.
you are, who you know, if we love you, if we don't love you personally. If you're giving the wrong information, we want to call you on it because we want you to be safe and we want the people that you are influencing to be safe.
Yeah, you're giving them the wrong information.
Graybeard says, I wonder how many of these characters are plants to lead people in circles and never figure out what is really going on. They do this in many fringe subjects. That's a possibility.
Yeah, he's getting people. Yeah, a lot of those people wouldn't go back camping after an experience like that. And if he's holding the gift, they're having problems. I can guarantee they're having problems.
Cube says, that's a good question, Graybeard. Very much so. Truthwalker says, Jerry, I love what you said at the beginning. We're not researchers. We're just telling you what these things are. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Truthwalker.
JR says, he's the dumb leading the blind channel.
He is.
Cube says, very much so, JR. Elastic says, I had fallen asleep listening to Talking to the Indians Part 2. My dog woke me up and I saw you were live. I tried staying up for my favorite weekly segment. You know, it even crossed our mind to text you and remind you that it was going to be on because you said it's one of your favorite weekly things when we saw you weren't in there, but we just ran out of time. Got distracted.
It's Wednesday.
Jamie says, Jerry, can a Bigfoot take over your mind? A mountain biker in cold winter all of a sudden feels hot and hears water starts taking off his clothes. Yes.
Yes, they can.
Just like a demon.
The shade is here.
Good seasons, friends.
Everybody saying hello to Shade.
Shade says salute. Jeremy says, I guess Janice thinks she's a medium. I'm thinking misplaced good intentions. Yeah, God's the only one that can decide about the good intentions, but we all know what he says about being mediums, and we need to test the spirits. Not one of these people that I have ever seen do this. I've never heard one of them ask, who do you say Jesus is?
Yeah.
Cube says 49 years of knowing nothing, LOL.
Exactly. He doesn't know anything.
Almost a little more dangerous because he's taking him to the right spots. He's telling, like he's showing him where to go look, as far as that part's right, but then putting him in a dangerous situation.
Right? Sure is.
Shade says, well, I feel better already listening. Good energy. Good, Shade, but you're running late, brother.
Running late. We've been doing this for 3 hours.
Yeah, we turned 10 minutes into 3 hours, but go back and listen to it. You'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we thank you. We'll go ahead and pray and let everybody get going, although it ain't that late for us. But For some of the people it is. I guess
Yeah, and 3 hours is
too long. Yeah.
for people to
We're
watch.
we're getting too riled up anyway on this
Yes.
one.
Mhm.
Lord help us to keep our patience
Mhm.
and but also help us to call out what we need to call out. And we just love you, Lord. We love the people that are here. Thank you for every single one of them. And give any of those that don't understand and still doubt and still think that some are good, some are bad. Lord, please open their eyes and their ears, and at the very least, if they refuse to do that, at least protect their families and the innocent people that they're in charge of or influencing, Lord. Oh, good Lord. Thank you. We love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Oh my goodness.
All right. Good
We-
night, warriors.
We couldn't make it through. The guy made us so mad, giving everybody the wrong information,
Dangerous information.
dangerous information, endangering other people. So everyone have a good night, and we will see you.
Go back
Oh,
and listen. Please hit like
yeah.
and
Like,
and
share
also
this if you
share.
can.
And come back, and nobody's done that really. Cube is pretty faithful about it, but going back into the regular comments after the videos, after the live streams posted, then to come into the comments and engage with us there too, because it's supposed to help the algorithm. We said earlier, he's been at 1970, going between 1974 and 1978 subscribers. For months. Could we please increase that
Something's
and
going
get
on.
that out? And we believe it's being
Manipulated.
yeah. There's no reason not to be over 2,000 by now, to be that close, and it just keeps going back and forth. So let's not have just the same 26 to 30 likes, which we appreciate and we love, but we suspect that's just the people in the chat and not you people who are watching later. If you're watching this all the time, either, please hit like.
And Shadow Trackers, your final test is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. And your graduation ceremony is Saturday. And we encourage and invite everyone to be here with us for that graduation ceremony. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. Lee Tracker has made a wonderful cake. She's not finished yet, but there's going to be a special cake made. We're going to have our Christmas meal with you.
Get to eat in front of you.
Yeah, we get to eat the cake and ice cream in front of you. And we will have that ceremony before the celebration and festivities commences. So
and we would love everybody to join us to help these future trackers to celebrate,
to acknowledge them and to
congratulate
them.
Yeah,
they've done a lot, and
very, very proud of them.
And don't forget, the next tracker training course is coming up January 21st through April the 21st. You can use that email. Contact us through here or Facebook or through our email, which is at the bottom of the list there.
Knowledge you won't get in such a way anywhere
else. And we got some prizes, some surprises also for the graduation ceremony. So that's on Saturday evening. So everyone, please join us and congratulate these trackers for their achievements.
Thank you, everyone.
So
we love y'all. Good night, warriors.
Good night, warriors. Are we moving?
So beautiful.
Are we moving?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods. You'll say a prayer.